Hey, how your mom and dad? Welcome to the Far Reaches podcast. We are four friends from Eastern Oregon who've traveled the world and wound up scattered across the U.S. Join us as we get together to talk about current events, old events, agriculture, politics, movies, books, stocks, love, and even a little bit of life. No, we don't always agree, but we stay friends and even enjoy a few laughs. We think you will too, so come on along and enjoy the ride. And don't forget, keep on reaching. Hey, don't forget to stop by our special friends at B&K Auto Salvage who help bring this podcast to you each and every week. Folks, with over 1,200 used vehicles in stock and a large selection of 4x4 parts available, that's always being updated. B&K Auto Salvage is your Eastern Oregon one-stop shopping for the automotive world. And be sure to listen very close every week for the Far Reaches promo code that's going to get you discounted pricing and bumps on those prices on that scrap. So that's our good friends at B&K Auto Salvage. Make sure you told them the Reacher sent you and listen every week for the promo code to get extra savings. I want to do that again. There we go. Hey, how your mom and them? Welcome back to another edition of the Far Reaches podcast. That's right. We're back. We're here. We're live. We're in your face. Of course, right now we might be recorded too, but we hope you're enjoying it no matter when you're listening. For those of you watching on the screen, you're going to notice we have one of our favorite guest reachers. Miss Amy McNamee is joining us this evening to kind of round out some of the opinions. She's always griping she's not on the air enough, so we thought we'd just put her on and, I'm going to say hush her up, but that's not going to work. Make her happy. No, that's not going to work either. Just enjoy her company. I think that's what we're going to go with. Yeah, so yeah, myself, Richard, Joel, and Amy, and hopefully Rawls makes it too. They've been... Rawls has been dealing with winter, with some dogs, with cows, wolves, kids, wife, life. So you'd think he would do everything he could to get here to get a little reprieve. But I think
we don't all have those same problems.
I tell him that same thing. I'm like, dude, yeah, you just described my life to a T. So I don't know why you think you're special. But anyways, we miss him when he's gone. So that was, he's one of the founding fathers, as they might say. But anyways, we're here. There's no shortage of cool things to talk about. I think Richard made a quip a couple of weeks ago. Like, when we have these every week, like there's nothing to talk about. I disagree, but I think we've probably saved up a little bit in the interim. So we shall see what we start off with. I don't know if Richard's paused or just frozen in his ice cream. But if those of you watching either on Facebook Live or on the replay, he's just at least it's mostly intellectual looking. Oh, now he's back. Okay, outstanding. So
again.
Yes. Now I'm not sure that's better, but yeah.
You got bowls in that design too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Desert Rose.
Oh, look at that.
Joel is going to be hunting that down on eBay, I guarantee you. Or if you're not, I think
McNamee has some she'll sell him.
No, I won't. Those made it to California after Grandma passed away.
Oh, well then, too bad, Joel. Let's find your own.
Were those married?
I don't think I could afford them anyway.
No, so crazy enough, my wife's grandmother, this was her pattern also. So these actually came from California.
Got to maintain balance. If some leave Oregon to California, some must leave California to Oregon.
There can only be so much desert rose in the state.
There can be only one. It's the Highlander of Flatlery, yes, or whatever. Was it flatware? Yes, I mix cutlery and flatware together. Flatlery, yes. So it always reminds me of that joke on well, not flattery. No, we don't do that. Married with Children, when the neighbor comes over, she's like, somebody stole all my flatware. And Al's like, who would want your bras? So I always think about that when somebody says flatware.
So that's a Peggy? Peggy had
no, he said it to the neighbor, the little,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not
her
Peg.
name? Oh,
Darcy, Marcy, or whatever her name was. Yeah.
Marcy, yeah.
Marcy Darcy.
Marcy Darcy, yeah. Yeah, that was the one. So who would want to steal your bra? It's one of my favorite jokes, especially from Al and Married with Children days. But man's a menace. So anyways, we're going to kick off our reach around with our special guest, Amy.
Oh, great. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, for those of you watching, looks like she's skiing right now. Yeah, so
Micah.
Oh, you drink your beer with one hand and you're flipping me off with the other. So yeah,
And exactly.
that's what I was talking about. So,
Cute.
ladies first and special guest first. Amy, you want to kick it off with our patented reach around? Yeah.
Sure. This week has been, this whole year's been transitional. Jeez.
Well, it's only January.
Well, the last, since about May, life's been
Usually
transitional.
past
Let's put
10,
it that way.
8 months. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe 3 different moves. I kept the cows. And what else? So this
It's a nice,
week,
subtle line to drop in. I kept the cows. Yeah.
So yeah, this week I started a new career, and it's been intense. It's been fun. It's been a little hard to leave banking, especially super local banking when you're completely entrenched in all your clients and all your friends' lives, to move to an accounting firm from Portland and talk about learning an entirely new language. I'm still trying to wrap things up at the bank, so I've got clients calling, and cows started calving yesterday.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Wait, so you
All
work in
kinds of
accounting, but
fun
you just
around
do
here.
cattle ranching as a hobby?
If you want to call it a hobby.
He does cattle ranching and works in
Yeah.
accounting as a hobby.
Okay.
Yeah.
That too. I used to be a
makes
commercial
more sense.
lender,
Thanks, Mike.
and yeah.
Huh.
So yeah.
Maybe I
No,
should
it's
do
been a
that
little
too.
fun trying to
You should
take
definitely
on
buy
cows
cows,
as a
Joel.
hobby.
Joel should definitely buy cows.
Well,
You know, when you're
I
a
am,
kid, I'm going to interrupt a little bit. Sorry.
no, I was just gonna say,
you know, when
I'm
you're
actually, go ahead.
Don't weaken, Amy. Go. Yeah. Establish dominance.
Oh, fine. I would take on a financial partner if you wanted, Joel, if you really want to own a cow or two.
There you go.
That's what I was going to say. You know, when you're a kid, you can buy a cow and somebody else raises it, and then 6 months later or whatever, I don't know how it works, but they tell you, oh, we slaughtered it. Here's $300.
I think Hoyts did that.
We prefer harvest.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I say slaughter in my
That's
my
okay.
business.
In your business. The slaughter ranch. I like that.
But yeah, I would definitely like
It's,
to have a cow.
Don't have a cow, man. Yeah, it's probably almost as stable as Bitcoin. So I mean, you might as well just shift it over.
Yeah, you help me pick out a cow, and then
It's a 10
I'll
cow
pay
minimum.
for shots. You send
That's
me
not
like
how
a
it works.
picture.
You get the cow that you get, and you don't
Yeah.
bitch.
10 cow minimum.
Whatever. I don't care. Just send me a picture of it once a week.
Oh,
and-
Gate
for
cut.
only $800 a month, you too can adopt this cow. Yeah. So,
Funny,
Let's
that's
give it a
exactly
shot,
my
and then I can
role.
add that
Wouldn't
to my
that be
resume.
handy?
it'd be handy. Yeah. I think we can get something
All
going
about
here.
resume building.
Joel, do you have any other friends that want to adopt a cow too? A different cow. Don't get me wrong. We're not going to paper tiger
Well,
this.
I'm curious. Like when you two, so not Micah,
No.
do you max out your land with how many head you can handle? Your property can actually sustain, or could you add more?
That figure's pretty fluid in years like this. And you just, yeah, especially if you're leasing ground now, either way, you never max things out. You always leave a little bit for next year.
Mhm.
Here's an idea. Maybe I'll get 3.
They're actually, it's 2. Oh yeah, by the way, Raleigh needs the number to get in.
Sweet Lord.
But up in Umatilla, or up in where Raleigh's at right now, they're having a problem with the guy that did not mismanage his land because they had has a bunch of cows that people are packing feed to. So there are those guys, but they're rare.
And that was a complete shitstorm. It sounded like absentee owner with a guy that was spread too thin trying to manage.
I read that and I was like, I think that this is going to happen a lot more because the calls that I field in real estate about people that want to buy 5 acres and put some cows on it, like, yeah, that's not going to work. But a lot of real estate agents don't know either, so they're like, yeah, sure. So
Right.
there's this whole new type of people moving to rural America that have these grandiose ideas of agriculture, and so I think we're going to start seeing more and more of these animals that are not cared for and on resources that have been taxed out. Sorry, that was a tangent. Apologize.
Yeah, that's never happened before on this outfit. So let's try
Trying to be nice. Got a guest.
Where is he? Hear that? Oh,
Where?
you guys are interrupting a reach around. Like, you should know better than that. Yeah. Just saying. Yeah. It's the opening segment. Come on. But if Joel wants to, I think, 10 cow minimum. That's the name of our next podcast.
I wonder if I get 3, if I get Richard, Damien, and Raleigh to all agree to let me put my cow on each of their properties.
Oh, there you go. Spread it out.
We'll see who's the best cattle rancher.
There we go.
Oh, that's it.
Perfect.
That's it. Yeah.
I'm guessing
Leases have to come to separate terms on our lease, so
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to bow out. I partnered with Paul Merwin. I can't take any more partners.
I thought that was just wild speculation and rumor,
my.
but it is true apparently. Yeah. So
I bet my cow's going to get eaten by a wolf up at Raleigh's.
most likely. Yeah. No proof. Sorry. Yeah.
Text one day. Yeah. No proof.
Yeah.
Sorry, we can't.
Damn it.
Share,
yeah. That's like, of course I put your $100 on red in Vegas. Of course I did. Oh, of course you lost too. But yeah. Thanks anyways. So
there's this saying in
I'm not sure if you
there's this saying in ranching around here that like 11 or 100, it all takes the same amount of time. And my new partner is proving the reverse. 100 or 4, they all take the same amount of time.
It's the Merwin factor. Yeah.
Did you really take Merwin on as a partner?
Yes.
Oh, Richard.
He called and told me that, and I didn't believe him naturally because Merwin said it. But congratulations.
I needed a strong advisor in my corner.
You definitely have someone who will share an opinion. Yeah.
Is that a first name, last name, nickname? What is that? What is
Paul Merwin is his Christian name, actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Polly Wally. Or as I say, Polly goddamn fucked up Wally. Yeah.
So Amy, you can have Joel.
Yeah. What's this it's a silent partner draft.
If Joel knew my track record for maintaining live cattle, he might not want to take me on as a partner.
Whatever, I'll invest. Jeez.
He'll insure. Yeah.
Add cattle.
Maybe he's counting on
All
it.
right, you're on.
There we go.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't even need a contract. I don't care.
COD, cow on delivery. So
Perfect.
I'll just Venmo you some money and then
there we go.
if
Do you
anything comes
take
back
Venmo
great.
or Bitcoin or yeah? This
have
is
a
good enough.
legal
This
account you can
substitutes it's a
transfer stuff to.
contract, so we're fine. Yeah, we're fine.
Should you just send me like milk once in a while and be like, here's
some cottage cheese. Yeah, like
here's
If you wanna
what
go
you
milk
got
that
for your
cow, have
$1,000.
at
yeah. Yeah. I see you hold out for another cow or some steaks, one of the two.
Yeah.
That's my suggestion. But hey, it's up to you. It's your cow. So, well, your cow under her care and watch. So it's the cow.
Communal cow.
There we go. Yes. We'll send you monthly updates and a picture of your cow.
I'd be the same picture every month, but
don't worry about that. Yeah, everybody gets the same picture. So just wait a minute.
Black cow.
This cow I bought last year had the same ear tag. What the hell? Yeah, like
How much is it going to cost me not to kill my cow?
that could be arranged. Yeah.
That is the $1 million question.
Literally, yes.
Just let this guy live forever. Maybe I need a bowl. Is what I
I'm a
need. I
minor
need a
that
bowl.
age. That'll be a more short-term investment.
Yeah.
A bowl is a short term.
Unless you get
Some
like
bowls-
a really snazzy AI bowl that you can go for a little bit longer, but that's a
I
lot more
thought
money.
bowls are good for like 15 years.
Not in a herd. No.
Not in the same bunch of cows.
No.
They get tired. They get tired of the.
Inbreeder. Like eventually he's gonna be banging his mom, yeah, or sister, or daughter, yeah. So you know the odds are, anyways. Yeah. So. Well, that got awkward pretty quick, didn't it?
Yeah.
So, anyways,
We can let Amy finish her wraparound.
wrap around.
Oh. Jeez.
I'm not sure which is more
You know, that's-
suggestive, a wrap around or a reach around. Anyways, started off with the old wrap around. Next thing I know,
Sorry, Jimmy, if you're watching this.
yeah. Oh shit! I never thought about that. Oh well, too late now. That ship sailed.
Yeah, that ship sailed. Oh, like I'm worried.
It's a daisy.
That has truly been the extent of my week, is immersed in. You know, it's kind of funny to go from being the person that people call when they have software problems to feeling like a complete idiot working through a whole new set of software and learning an entire language. Just, yeah.
That's humbling,
Talk
but
about
also
humbling.
awesome. Yeah, I think it's a.
Oh, it is.
It's like, can I still do this? Do I got it? Can I wrangle this in no time? And yeah,
Yeah, at 40 some odd years old, am I still smart enough to take on something new? And that's the other thing I'm learning is you get in these training classes with people that probably aren't as advanced in years as I am. And it's a whole new world out there. Who would have thought that you go into a work training and you're talking about how you feel about things?
oh yeah, yeah. It's a.
They're called icebreakers. I used to be a training professional.
There you go.
We'd have icebreakers.
I like
Not
it.
yet. She said if
I
the
don't know.
pituitary test comes back off again, then they will. She'll schedule another MRI specific to the pituitary.
I think we have Mrs. Ball's
Little crossover.
direct feed there, Ross, unless you're talking about pituitary glands or something. So
Yep, pituitary glands.
pituitary, say it. Pituitary. It sounds like an elementary school in a part of town you don't want to go to. I go to pituitary.
9062.
9062. Yes. Ross has like the washout vision going like, hey buddy, you all right? Yeah. Now he's on mute.
I got this new phone and I'm
There
trying
it
to
is.
figure it out.
There we go. We can hear you.
Trying to
Finally
figure
got a
out
new
my
phone too. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thanks for the card. I enjoyed
Yeah.
Definitely picks up the ambient sound well. We
Yeah.
just there you are. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the microphone on. I was hoping it would drown up or bring in everything else, but
It's good.
Can hear good.
Like we can hear Kelly better than we can normally hear you on your old phone.
well, yeah, that old phone was time to go.
Well, it happens. Yeah.
See if I
So
can get
just
some
welcome to the real world. So
Yeah.
now if we can just get Richard to we should just get him a separate Reacher's iPhone so he doesn't always fuck up the text chain. You know, he's the green guy. So
The green guy.
yeah.
One was like a roto dial cell phone.
Yeah. Yeah, the long cord, it's all tangled up, hanging in the kitchen. Yeah.
You poor guys.
Who all's on?
We have
Everybody.
the whole gang plus Amy.
Oh, I'm spotting
and-
another.
And my phone. Yeah, that's my audio.
Oh,
She's
okay,
pretty
I
high
got
tech.
it.
So
Oh,
Yeah. It's like we got a lot
oh
of
there
folks
she is
on
in
here.
person. I had no idea. Just looking at the phone.
Hi, Richard.
all right, well, everybody welcome aboard. Yeah, we finally got God, I love
Oh.
this. I look forward to this so much.
So I
Yes,
have one
Richard.
more
Podcasts
question.
aren't that hard to put on, apparently.
Turns out, yeah. Richard, what's that?
Is it a remote job?
That's what
Yes,
she said.
entirely remote.
Nice.
Oh.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's a remote wraparound, so you got that going for you. So are you
It's easier to
crafting
Zoom.
the home office area then?
Yes, actually, I got a nice little office allowance and nice stand-up desk. Right now, I'm still sitting at the kitchen counter because, yeah, one
Transition.
step at a time, baby steps. Yeah,
There we
You're
go.
advanced. You're advanced in years and have a bad back.
that too,
Projecting,
you
Richard,
can't
you're
not have a
projecting.
decent chair. You don't know.
He can't even see you, yet he's like making these assumptions. I think
I'm gonna be thinking
Yeah,
advanced in
fortunately,
years.
my office chair showed up on Monday, so I haven't been fighting this all week without an office chair.
oh, yeah,
More
but you,
important than a desk.
I would concur, yeah, because you can sit and spin around it when you're on the phone. It's, I mean, theoretically, like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Meditating, leave me alone. Yeah. All the good thoughts spin to the outside and then they congregate to the bottom when I stop.
Like a centrifuge.
There you go. I was going to throw that out there, but I'd have to explain it 4 times. So I thought I'd just leave you to it. Well, awesome, man. That's way cool. When did you start that?
Monday, and then
Monday.
my last day at the bank is next Monday. So
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Little
yeah.
dual purpose for a few days. Hopefully get everybody weaned off of you and onto something else at least. Yeah.
Some of them that may never happen.
It's not always fun being popular or in demand, as some would say. So that just says
Art
about,
of
you
learning
know,
to say no.
I admire that going into a new role like that. I just got a LinkedIn message from this guy who's the head of a group for another foreign financial institution, sort of like my bank.
mhm.
He's looking for somebody to do a role similar to mine, Volcker, qualified financial contracts. I'm like, I got to respond to this guy because not often you get messages directly from like a hiring manager, usually like a recruiter. But it's like, I don't know, you get so comfortable in your existing job. It's kind of a scary idea to give it all up, to go try something like a new place. You got to learn all the new people, and you got to, maybe their expectations are different. They would expect that I'm like some sort of subject matter expert. And I guess I sort of am, but I'm not like the best in the city at it by any means.
Well, don't sell yourself short. You're a tremendous slouch, but I think, like, obviously,
It's like
for my
pretty
point of view, it's
comfortable.
good to
It's
shake
bad,
it up
maybe.
every 2 to 6
Probably,
years. Yeah, like,
Just say top 5% and be happy.
yeah, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So you say you're the top person in your office because technically you're the only person in your office, but they don't know that. So if I look
It
around
gets
the
into,
room
like-
here, I'm definitely the top person in this room right now, no doubt about it.
I've only recently started getting emails when it comes to like advisory. So
Mhm.
people from the business will send in a message, an email, like, how do we handle this situation? And I've asked to start seeing more of those as part of
Oh,
my
cool.
development. But it's like fucking Chinese math with some of the stuff they talk about. I don't know.
So you get time to
It-
go like research it and check it out and come back with your opinion, or do like they want it like as they're on a call or need something by the afternoon?
No, I'm just getting these emails now for like training purposes. No,
Oh, okay. Oh, I got
I'm
you.
not expected to give my input. I'm just like seeing what kind of stuff gets asked
Gotcha.
and how they respond to it.
So do you come up with your
factors
answer and then they
consider.
compare it to what somebody else said?
That will be the next step.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
Anyway, I mean, what I was saying is I admire the what's the word?
Tenacity.
Sure.
Well, thanks. This
One of
whole
my
last
favorite
year
words.
has been full of a
Good.
lot of it. So it's thank you. I appreciate that.
You have to embrace that chaos, I think, and
Yeah.
as I say, roll with it or make the best out of it, or look at it as like a new challenge. Or now you have this whole other experience you'll have under your wing of like, I did that, I learned that, I met these people. Again, I'm probably projecting because yeah, I've done that no less than 10 times probably.
I was going to say, for what it's worth, that's sort of my life strategy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Blow
Richard
things
even
up
perfected
every
that back
6 years or
in
so.
college. Yeah, like I mean,
Oh.
How many universities did you attend, Richard?
Let's not talk about that.
Oh, I was going to spin it in a good way. I didn't say how many did you get kicked out of or asked to leave. I just said how many did you attend. So
I've even lost count. Well, you guys go ahead and talk.
okay, yeah, talk amongst yourselves. Yeah, it's kind of like how many roommates did you guys have in the White House? McDave and I counted up one time. It was like 40 or something ridiculous because we counted Brit and Floppy, even though they never paid rent. But
Oh, geez.
most people didn't anyway, so it didn't really matter. So yeah, yeah.
People got away with that? Geez. Wait a minute.
Hey, until you fix the freaking window in Digger's room, we're not paying rent. Maybe we just forgot to tell everybody else about that. But yeah, I remember when Monkey found out about that. Like, you guys haven't been paying rent? Yeah, like, nope. Richard's still counting for those of you listening or watching at home. Like, it's got one boot off, and I think I see an abacus. Yeah, it's he learned that at Miaoyang State, so it's pretty awesome.
It would be 8.
It'd be 8, folks.
Yeah.
8 institutions of higher learning were blessed with having the Bradbury presence in one time, shape, or form. So
Yeah, they took my money.
they were happy to.
Over the course of how many years?
Now that's where we're going to get personal. That's
I started I got my first. I started in 94. Got my bachelor's degree in 2015 and my master's in 2018.
there you go, folks. Never give up. Never surrender.
Yeah, a lot of people
But I
in
mean-
college for 7 years.
Yeah, they're called doctors. So
Yeah.
17 years.
sorry, couldn't resist that one. Joel set it up perfectly. So. It's good. We lost poor Raleigh. He'll be back in a minute, I guess. I think he must be pooping because he's on. Here he comes. Yeah, that's our usual answer. Where's so and so? He had to poop. There he is. He had to poop. Uh-oh. Now we got two. We got 2 Raleighs now. This is not good.
A full room.
How is that happening? Holy elk!
We need to create breakout rooms.
Exactly. Breakout rooms. Joel's definitely going back to his training days. All right, we're going to go breakout room. Have your topics. We'll come back.
Everybody
here
be
and we'll
back
discuss.
here in 10 minutes and we'll talk about what.
All right. Thanks,
we're gonna
everybody.
discuss.
Yeah. Outstanding. Well, Aim, anything else before we move along? I'm sure we can roll back at any
That
time.
pretty
but
well
just-
covers me.
That's pretty good. There's a lot to unpack there, and we still have more to go. So I'm going to skip down to the lower right hand corner. I'm not sure where you show up on everybody else's screen. But Mr. Bigsby, good day, sir.
Good evening.
How are you?
Better now. I got off the phone and got on the computer. I can see what's going on.
Oh, kinky. Good. Good.
So
Outstanding. If you're paying for that OnlyFans, you might as well get the most out of it. So congratulations.
yeah. No, what's going on around you guys?
We're just reaching around. Glad to have a quorum plus and get some balls time. So I love your shirt again. That's one of our favorites. But bring us up to speed, good sir, if you will, if you care to, or just say
Wow.
howdy. It's all
I don't
good.
even know when the last time I was on was, but just getting kind of geared up for Kevin to start here in 3 or 4 weeks, I guess, and lots of baby time. That's kind of at the forefront of my schedule, it seems like, but no,
That is your schedule, Raleigh.
it is really. I mean, it's kind of you focus everything around that now. So
One cabin right into another. So yeah, congratulations.
yeah, so
In about 3 years, you're going to wake up and realize, oh, crap, I got 15 more years of this.
maybe 14 and a half. I think maybe you can pack early. Yeah. Congratulations, Junior. Today you're spread your wings. Yeah.
15 years is when the real trouble starts. So you start bailing them out of jail and shit like that.
That's one alternative, but yeah.
At least he'll have a sense of adventure.
Yeah.
No, just the daily grind, really.
How old is he going to be when he gets to go hang out with Uncle Deegan?
I don't know. Old enough to drive, I guess. I don't know.
Or Uncle Pot Roast or Uncle. Yeah,
Oh,
there's all
God.
sorts of uncles that are lining up to go.
I don't know what he probably has some early life lessons he's got to garner off of Uncle Pot Roast. So
Yes,
yeah.
I think you can start with that foundation and set the bar.
Well, yeah,
yeah.
I don't know if I'd refer to it as a foundation.
It's definitely a bar. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's some sketchy ground right there. So foundation really doesn't apply.
I saw you on the news. We talked about that.
he was
Oh,
in the
you stole
van
my
down by the
thunder.
river. Oh, that's a different story.
Yeah. I've got
That was pretty cool. You did a good job.
Yeah, I thought he did excellent.
yeah, it's hang on, we got another visitor here that's gonna crawl in my lap for a while.
Hey, you're a married man. Oh, I got you. Okay.
So anyways,
Oh,
Buster's gonna be on here for a
that's
little bit.
perfect.
No, so I am this kind of technically the sub chair for the Oregon Cattlemen's Wolf Committee, and have got plenty of wolf exposure. So when the chair got contacted here recently by a news organization, they wanted to come do an interview on current wolf policy and kind of where things are headed. The rest of the state's starting to take notice with all the wolves showing up on the west side, and it was actually a really good thing because they came into the interview looking from the stance that, we want to know, we hear a lot of the good about the wolf, but we want to know what the truth is and what's going on as far as how they're affecting Eastern Oregon and the folks within the ranching community. So they got a pretty good firsthand look. I mean, I was able to enlighten them on some depredation issues and hopefully future policies to be put into the new wolf plan that's going to come out here in about a year and a half. So that was I don't know. I'm not real big on being in front of a camera or doing any of that kind of shit, but it's necessary and we need to get our voice out there. So but yeah, been a lot of, I guess I have been yesterday we had the monthly state wolf committee meeting, and there's lots of little meetings and stuff I've been doing. So
Cool.
How many wolves are up there by you then?
According to the Fish and Wildlife, or the real numbers?
Yeah.
Both.
Let's
Let's see the delta on that one.
Yeah, that I think last year's count was like 160 something or 180 something in Oregon, and that's they do an annual count. But one of the things that I think would be beneficial for everybody in the state of Oregon would be to maybe have an alternative counting system where it's not all Fish and Wildlife doing the counting. So because every time something happens where they're supposed to come forth with the wolf plan to allow us to do more lethal take or to utilize the existing plan, they just set the goalpost out a little further. And we need to do a better job as a livestock organization and the Cattlemen's Association of holding their feet to the fire, and which, you're dealing with a government bureaucracy, so that's not necessarily an easy thing to do. So.
Well, you're probably outside probably 2 or 3 hours a day. Do you ever see them?
Oh yeah, I killed them, but that I'm the only one in the state that has. So it's
Legally.
Yeah.
Legal.
Yeah.
Really?
But, yeah.
You ever
no,
see
I
them
did.
just like roaming around and?
Yeah, they do, but I mean, yeah, I've chased them off my property before, but I I'm the only one that's ever caught them in the act of pursuing my livestock, and I have the legal right to do that. But there's definitely a lot more than what they are aware of, I think, and what they claim there is.
Mhm.
Both. Uh, you're probably seeing them in your area, Richard. And well, I know you are. You are too, Amy. I'm sure in your part of the world, but they're unfortunately there's something we're gonna have to live with. However, we need to be, this area of the state where I'm at is where they started out in, and we're we need to be normalizing these animals here now and just making them a game species and opening hunts on them.
Mhm.
However, as you get into Richard's country down there where they're still developing their population, they can't allow that and to happen there yet. But we're overran with them completely, and you guys you're in the same state as we are, so you've got our rules, and unfortunately, the the livestock producers are going to suffer, but so are all the native game species and the ungulates.
Absolutely.
That's it's really taken a foothold here on the elk and deer population. So especially winters like this one.
Yeah, that's what.
Oh,
There wouldn't be much for them to eat this year.
No, well there's there's plenty for them to eat here. They're easy to get this year. Everything's pushed off into a hole somewhere, and and I know that they're having issues right now over in Keating as we speak.
Mm.
In the last day or so. All the wildlife are pushed down into the valley floors, and so are the ranchers right now feeding. Well, guess who's falling on them? And they're not just picking on the wildlife; they're
Yeah.
picking on. I just read a report here this evening that there's another attack on private property. I think it was a yearling. I'm not sure for sure, but we're pretty near getting daily wolf incidents in the state of Oregon now. I mean, the population is to the point where on a daily basis somewhere in the state we're being affected by them. So it's
is OCA doing a good job of advocating?
as best as we can. I mean, we've got alliances that we've got to get better formed with other organizations that have a little more pull within the legal law writings when it comes to legislation. But we're in with hunters organizations. There's the Farm Bureau. There's a lot of different organizations that we're tied into that help effectively form a coalition to fight this thing. But as best as we can, we've had last week we had a meeting. The Wallowa County stock growers had a meeting with one of the Fish and Wildlife commissioners and the head for the Eastern Oregon head biologist, and we initiating talks for the next wolf plan. As the I don't know how to best put this. Being from Wallowa County, we kind of have a little bit of more pull. We've been at this now for 15 years dealing with these wolves, and so where we're kind of at we're farther down the road kicking the rock right now. So we're trying to set precedents for the rest of the state as we move forward, and it's going to be a long pull, but probably the biggest thing that's going to affect the future of the wolf policy and the next wolf plan is who we get in our governor's office this next fall. So get out there and vote, folks, and don't vote the wrong way.
There you go.
And join OCA. Put your
absolutely
your dollar bill behind a group that's going to be effective in fighting.
Great point, Amy.
We definitely have some strong advocates for within our wolf committee, but it's
join your county association. Obviously, also join OCA.
Yeah, OCA
and join Farm Bureau. I think. Building that natural resource coalition.
OCA.
Sorry, Rolf.
Oh, nothing. I was just making. OCA tends to be a parent for most county organizations, so I would say that definitely a good organization to be a part of, and you know, and unfortunately in this community as ranchers, we all want to be left alone and just do our job, but we're not in that corner anymore. We got to kind of stand out and fight a little here. So
Speak up.
yeah, and you know, I think what folks are going to see throughout the state moving forward over the next, I'm going to say 2 to 5 years, with the expansion of the wolf population, the way it's moving, it's really going to start affecting a lot of the small communities in Central Oregon and then throughout the Willamette Valley. The problem with the Willamette Valley is it's going to be very, very difficult to get official numbers on what's really there. Because, I mean, a lot of timber, a lot of really tough terrain to get in there and figure out what's actually on the ground. So that's going to be a pretty big battle for folks from Klamath over into the valley there. So but
I'm curious, like how does it, like if I was walking around like your property at nighttime,
That'd be a bad thing, dude.
I'd be kind of nervous that a wolf might come and attack
You're
me.
more nervous about Raleigh finding you. No.
yeah,
No, I mean if I'm the Mike, if I'm the landowner, not
Oh, I got you.
trespassing.
I don't think. Hang on, we're having a meltdown. We just had
I can hear
vaccinations. We had some vaccinations this afternoon, so he's gonna be a little fussy. And I don't have the right equipment to fix the problem, I don't think.
You guys out there, like with wolves around, do you ever get like nervous that one's gonna attack you? Has that ever happened, like in Oregon?
No, not
a human.
Not to my knowledge in Oregon. I'm not gonna say that the wolves aren't gonna. From prior experience hunting in Idaho, my family spends a lot of time in the woods that I hunt with up there, and my uncle has had wolves take a pass at him thinking he was an elk. And so typically no, I would say they don't have a really strong fear of humans yet, but they should. And generally if you present a presence around them, they will vacate the area, but they're not.
Would you be more threatened by a wolf in your vicinity or a cougar?
I honestly, a cat. Yeah. It's all situational, but I have had a cat stalk me before. So, yeah, I would say definitely a cat.
It'll make your hair stand up.
Yeah. So they're darn sure an apex predator, and they're nothing to shy away from. If you're in the wrong situation and the right time of the year for them, I'm not going to sit here and tell you they're not going to look at you as some sort of a meal. You know, they're a creature of habit, and they rely on a lot of learned behavior. That being said, when they start killing livestock, they continue to kill livestock, and so they're finding evidence, and as you can take away the killers and take away the ones that are teaching the young ones to prey on livestock, you can effectively kind of detour them away from becoming livestock killers. So yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, but yeah, so which doesn't lend well, because I don't know, some of you guys probably read about the lost cow incident in the upper Imnaha that we've been having up here, and or the ranch that's lost their cattle to deep snow, which has turned into wolf bait city for them. So we're hoping that it's not teaching them to enjoy beef and ribeye.
Yeah.
That just gives everybody a black eye.
Oh, it's a bad situation. It really is.
What happened? The cows froze to death or something?
Well, yeah, a lot of them have. So a big guy came. Well, I shouldn't say a big guy. A guy with a lot of buying power came in here and bought up some big ranches. Hired a local guy to manage them. Essentially, the circumference of his ranch that he has typically taken 12 to 14 guys to manage that area and that much responsibility. And the local guy that came in to manage it was trying to do it with 4. And just unfortunately it falls under the radar of neglect, and because there's no excuse for why those animals weren't out of there in October.
Mm.
But it's been a pretty big controversy within the community up here. And there is 2 sides to the story. The absentee owner was not necessarily up and up on all of what he should have been, according to folks within, and so it's all under investigation. And I'm relatively certain at some point here we'll probably see it go into a courtroom. So, but it's really given the community of livestock producers a black eye. We fortunately are in a great community, and people have gone above and beyond. They built one of the local shops here, took a stock trailer and built guardrail skis under it that they could pull with a snowcat, and they've been able to get in and rescue a lot of cattle. But unfortunately for a lot of the cattle, it was too little too late. I suppose if there's an excuse around every corner, and some folks say, well, if we wouldn't have got 5 feet of snow up there overnight, this never would have happened. Well, yeah, that's probably true. And a lot of times it takes some snow to get some of these livestock out of the hill, but none of these livestock were native, so they bought them all off. They bought them all off sale barns, and they were all fall calvers in that region, and it was just a really bad situation all the way around. And so it's not been the most enjoyable for some of the folks up here, I imagine.
And here you said nothing's been going on. It's just been him and ha. Next thing you know, we're talking to,
I end up, yeah. when I've gotten established in the community up here as a stock producer, and whether I'm respected or not, I could care. But I've been asked to be a part of some of this to help where I can help, and I'm one of the few small bale producers left in the county up here, and so some of the cattle they were able to fly hay into, and but you do what you can. I personally don't really, what happens to the folks that are involved is their business, but when it comes to the animal husbandry and the livestock end of it quite frankly grinds my gears, pisses me off a little that anybody would allow. It's one thing if it's a handful or a couple bulls or something that you couldn't get in, got left out, but to date they've rescued, I want to say, somewhere around 30 head of adult cattle, but they've lost the same. And I don't know what the numbers are on the calves that they've rescued, but there was 60-70 head that were effectively out. So it's
Probably worse than we imagine.
and that's what they know of. Right, there's been a lot of deceit and dishonesty from the management, and the Forest Service, because it is on great big allotments. They're upset because they can't get the actual numbers. It's been a bit of a train wreck. But I hate to see it get in the public eye on one hand, but on the other, you know what?
Might do some good eventually, maybe.
Yeah, we live in that world. So if you're going to do stupid shit, people are going to know about it.
I think that's the point of this podcast.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, that's been going on. That's part of the reason why I haven't been able to attend since about shortly before Christmas. Our county commissioner and the president of OCA formed a nightly meeting where we all get on, anybody that's involved in the search and rescue efforts or tied in with the ranch or is a part of this somehow, whether they're pilots flying. We would all get on a nightly meeting and discuss order of operations and kind of what the next day held, what everybody did, what they found, what they saw. it was really
That's a lot.
yeah, it was a great effort. A lot of hours spent by folks that didn't need to be spending hours doing that shit, but they set aside their time and their businesses. And I mean, there's one guy that was out there daily, almost all day long, and he runs a construction crew and was shutting his crew down for weeks on end to work on this. So it's nice being a part of rural communities still that effectively jump in and do what it takes to tackle things like this. So
Absolutely, yeah. Shows that one bad apple doesn't have to really represent everybody else. I think
yeah,
several bad apples maybe, but just like unfortunate events could bring together people in a way we don't see as often as we used to.
Yeah, it's just, as all of us know that grow up in ag communities and especially ranching communities that run on Forest Service allotments and whatnot, the resources that we have available to us out here are very valuable, especially to family ranches and whatnot. And it's a shame to see this kind of stuff happen, because those things go away and they don't come back, and that's the difficult part about watching it all happen. So, but
well, if you don't mind me saying, that was one of the best reach arounds ever. So thank you.
yeah, well,
a lot of content.
I'm glad I could get here to be a part of this one.
Outstanding.
How come you always live in such exciting places?
Yeah, what the hell?
How come I always live in exciting places? Maybe that excitement follows me. I don't know.
I was just going to say, I think it has more to do with the person than where he lives. Yeah.
Don't know.
Speaking of exciting places, Joel, do you have anything to share with the group?
Want to hear about my North 40 now?
Yeah. What's going on out there? How's the herd?
My retrend. So I almost died in a plane crash. Coming back from visiting Micah.
Well, that happens.
Yeah. So I went down to Florida to visit Micah. Had a great time. Went to the Hooters.
Yeah. With the
fine dining establishment.
Nothing but the best.
Pulled a beer, yeah. Coming back though, I thought I was going to die in a plane crash. Coming in for a landing, looking out the window, it was like all white,
Upside down, like
that was you headed to heaven. You were approaching heaven.
Yeah. Stay away from the light, Joel. Yeah.
We were coming down and this plane was shaking more than anything I've ever experienced. There was women behind me just hollering and crying. You couldn't see anything. You didn't know how close we were to landing, but some just sitting there kind of quietly praying, waiting for the wheels to hit the runway. And then suddenly they accelerate, start going up, and gets a little more shaky. And the cries get a little louder. I'm just waiting for any minute now. Like, this thing is gonna fucking crash.
Like a wing to come off or something.
All those in my mind. Have you ever listened to that Bill Burr comedy special when he talks about the guy that he was sitting next to on kind of a dicey flight?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, whoa, whoa.
Of course, Burr.
It's like, then if you don't crash, you just look like a bitch, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now we have to crash. Yeah. Hello, douchebag.
Yeah, in my mind, I was just like, don't make a noise, Joel. Don't embarrass yourself. Yeah, we were pulling out of that, and then the pilot gets on. His voice sounds all shaky.
Oh, that's not what you want.
And he's like, we're experiencing some weather up here, and he mentioned like their alarm went off or something and they had to divert. And he said, we're gonna try to land in Philadelphia. We'll give you more information later, but as you can imagine, pretty busy up here. And then he hung up.
Busy up here. Yeah. Anybody got a spare pair of underwear? I'll pay you $20 for them.
And followed by about another 15 minutes of just, it was pretty scary. And then suddenly you get out of the clouds. And we landed in Philadelphia, and the flight attendant was like, everyone clapped too. Have you ever been on a flight when people clap when you land?
It's usually not for that though. It's like, oh, we made it to Vegas. I'm like, shut
I didn't
up.
clap. I'm not gonna clap.
No.
I'm not gonna be one of those guys.
You're maintaining the non-bitch status. We're proud of you.
Yeah. And the flight attendant, she made an announcement, and she's like, welcome to Philadelphia. We're sorry for the inconvenience, but at least we're on the ground safely.
I think they said that every time they land in Philadelphia.
We landed in Philadelphia at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
I was supposed to be at JFK at I think like 10 p.m. at that point, but we're in Philadelphia at 2. And sitting on the tarmac because Philadelphia airport closes. Like there wasn't anybody there. They had a skeleton crew. Finally let us out after like a half hour. And the whole airport was dark. It was weird.
Mhm.
There was this girl on our flight when I was boarding. I saw her. I think I told you about her, Micah, right? Who was like a heavy set, kind of ghetto looking gal, wearing pink sweatpants, eating a chicken wing like this. Yeah. And then she like that, and she tossed it on the floor, wiped her hands off, tossed all her napkins on the floor, not wearing a mask. Which I'm all right, whatever. But you got to put a mask on.
Oh, just don't throw your chicken bones on the floor for God's sake. That
And
offends me
like
way
other
more than
people
no
around,
mask.
she was
Get her
she was
number?
right in front of me.
Did you get her number?
So I made her the queen of my double wide trailer.
Hey.
Oh, sorry.
I wasn't gonna say anything, dude. I didn't want to start.
Don't start nothing, won't be nothing.
Other people were like yelling at her.
I think you missed a
played dumb.
perfectly good. You missed a perfectly good conversation starter. I mean, seriously.
So I like how you handled that bone. My name's Joe.
Yeah, there you go.
I'd lick the grease off your fingers, darling. Mhm.
This girl coming from Miami, I don't think you'd want to talk to her. Other people around were yelling at her.
Really?
But once we got to
where's the stewardess during all this?
I saw her in Philadelphia. Saw her walking around, and those like golf cart things that they have in airports.
Oh yeah.
To transport, but
yeah.
she got in one of those, started trying to drive it, and she got surrounded by other passengers and the flight attendant guy that was there, and he pulled her out of it. And then, like, I don't know, 5 minutes later, some cops showed up and arrested her.
Oh my God! It's like citizen's arrest.
Yeah, it was bizarre. Anyway, I ended up taking Amtrak from Philadelphia back to New York. That flight didn't end up leaving. I had to wait in the airport from 2 to 8 a.m. or something.
Oh, there ain't nothing worse than being in an airport that's closed. Like,
and that flight didn't end up leaving. I was still getting text messages. Didn't end up leaving Philadelphia until like 5 p.m.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That was a long ass day. But I had a good time in Florida, Micah.
It's great, man. It's awesome to have you.
Micah made me some steak one night and some ribs one night.
Yeah.
So you can't call Hooters and give a credit card over the phone to buy a round of drinks.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
That was, A, we appreciate the thought. It was really cool. But B, what the hell? Yeah, what the hell?
I bet Casey would have arranged it, our waitress.
Our stewardess, if she would have known. Yeah. I think, But nice try, Aim. We appreciate
You
that.
didn't
That
give
was
me a
like,
name task.
yeah. You didn't tell us what you're up to until we left.
Right.
But the thought that counts.
Went to Aziz Ansari's.
Oh, cool.
I went to see him 2 nights ago, I think. That was really good. And then I saw yesterday he put a new special on Netflix. It's the same hour.
Mm.
It's really funny. It's a little. It's kind of, I don't know if you guys would probably think it's funny, but it's kind of he's kind of a left wing guy. But
He is, but he can still be funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really good. That's my week. I don't know, comedy, flying.
tragedy.
It's-
Praying.
No
Chicken.
pandemic for me. I just wanted to get out of New York and experience a little bit of normalcy for a weekend without like showing
That's the
your
state of the world when you go to
vaccine card when you go
Florida for
someplace
normal.
and put a mask on. Put a
And you
mask
picked
on.
Micah. Really?
Yeah. I mean, that's how bad things are. Seriously, like I'm gonna go visit Micah in Florida so I can get some normal shit in my life. Like seriously, where have we gone? Like, yeah, nobody said anything about a mask or a card or a. It's yeah, we live a
I didn't
relatively.
even bring my vaccine card. I just left that at
There
home.
you go. No vaccine card required. Look at Rawls. Yeah. Yeah. I remember I was talking to some friends of ours from college a while ago. I'm like, well, you dirtbags need to come visit. And one of them's like, but there's a pandemic going on. I'm like, maybe there, but we're not participating anymore. So don't worry about it. Like, oh, that's right. You live down there. Yeah.
Down there.
Yeah. Proudly. Thank you. Yes.
I've kind of like shrunken my world in New York to avoid it for the most
Mhm.
part, but like I took the subway to go to Aziz, and you go into from where I'm going to. If you so the place where the venue where he was at was the same place where Louis was when I went to Louis C.K. It's like a room off to the side of Madison Square Garden. So I had to take a subway, and I've mostly avoided subways.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, they're dirty, especially at Penn Station, where MSG is. There's bums everywhere, homeless people laying on the ground. It's gross. I don't know. This place is a disaster now. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend visiting New York City.
Don't either. No. I mean, yeah, makes you feel better about everywhere else. Yeah.
I think if you can stay out of someone who's willing to take a car everywhere, it's fine. But
What the hell is your dog doing, Micah?
I think that's how she scratches her ass. She sits down and goes in a circle. Yeah.
wiping her butt.
I'm gonna try it. It looks like a good technique. I don't know. I was like, finally, it's captured on film. My dog's over my shoulder, like, and then she just casually walks away. It's all good. Yeah, because I don't have white carpet, so yeah.
I
yeah,
have to
it's
know
like-
Scraps a little bit. Scraps doesn't have much going on other than waiting for Micah to make more food and then stare at you.
Yeah.
Maybe wants to play with the rope for about a minute.
Yeah,
And
tear your
then-
arm out, and then she'll be like, "All right, I'm gonna lay down for a while."
It's not a
She
mean
just-
dog, but it's not a friendly dog either. Doesn't want to
She's not overly affectionate, I suppose, if you could say. Yeah, like, hilarious.
but
Yeah. So I mean, like wearing the mask on the subway probably advisable at all times, and gloves. That's the one time I would probably subscribe to wearing a mask and gloves in public if I was on the subway.
not to
At any
prevent
time.
Probably
infection. It's just
pre-pandemic.
to hide
No,
your
it's just
face.
to, like-
I don't
Absolutely. Yeah.
want to have to like get caught looking at some crazy person.
Somebody eating chicken bones.
Yeah.
I can understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
back to it in Boston, riding the subway out to the Fenway, and you're literally, it's like, it reminded me like what it looks like on a Japanese train. You're like somebody's like right up on your grill, like, so headed to the game, huh? Like, no idea who this person is. You're just like smashed like sardines. It's
Dude, there's
crazy.
just people camping.
Yeah.
Basically camp. They have a whole little community set up
Mhm.
in the subway station.
It didn't used to be like that. I mean, a long time ago it was, and then it was cleaned up for quite a while, wasn't it? Like it was decent.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't like that 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I
Um,
thought.
And they just let it fester. And I don't know if you guys see it on the news out there, but like there's been some
Oh.
high profile issues lately, like this girl, an Asian girl that worked at Deloitte, she was just waiting for a train, and then some crazy homeless guy shoved her right in front of the train.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Killed her.
Awful.
Every once a week there's like a story of somebody getting pushed onto the tracks, or cops are getting ambushed and shot. Couple of young early 20-something cops this last week
Yeah,
got
in New York.
got killed. And they just keep perpetuating these policies that aren't going to help, letting them all out of jail, violent criminals out of jail. It's kind of fucked up, man.
And it's severely, not kind of. It's absolutely hosed.
Yeah. But yeah, I've always, I guess, I don't know. When I first moved here, I moved here in 2006, and I think we're probably back to about the level of violence that was going on back then. Back then, it didn't seem like all that big of a deal.
Well, because it had been that way for a long time, or that was sort of the standard.
Yeah, it had continually gotten better.
Mhm.
I think the only difference is a lot of the violence always happened in certain areas,
Mhm.
and now a lot of the violence is like creeping into, I guess, productive people communities.
Yeah, everywhere else. So, which I think is the plan. So,
yeah, I don't know. I've always been pretty self-aware of when I go onto a subway. I don't stand close to the edge and
mhm.
kind of stand perpendicular to it, brace my feet. Somebody's going to try to push me, I wouldn't really move much. But
Be tempting not to give them the old hip toss, and I might go down with them, but hopefully they're going too.
I look out for other people a little bit when I'm doing that, because I don't think people are going to mess with me.
No,
Too tall, but
yeah, leverage. But still, yeah, we'd hate to see that. Like, what would cause somebody to do that just because they can? Because I don't know. What are you going to do? It's just weird. It's just really weird.
yeah, the Asian hate in New York is pretty strong among not like most people, but there's a lot of violence against Asians here.
From a particular community,
Yeah.
I think, as well. Yeah.
That's my reach around. I'm gonna pour Pendleton.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a good post reach around activity. Yes. So. So yeah, well, I'll give a brief one as well. Yeah, Mr. Joel came down, hung out for a couple days, played a little crappy golf, toured around the city a little bit, just hung out, and I kind of had just relaxed mostly because he could be in a normal place. And so it was good just to wander around, and like it's that thing, like you don't show people parts of your city until they come to visit. You're like, oh yeah, I guess we can go look at that. I don't care. So yeah, we went to World of Beer and Hooters.
I shot a 50 on 9 holes. I had
Yeah,
four pars, and I
with
still
rental
shot a 50.
clubs. Yeah, so shitty rental
Pretty
clubs, I
bad.
might add, and a pretty crappy ran golf course also. So
That's fun.
God, it was like hand-to-hand combat for. So this is funny. We get the online tee time. We go online, get it. It's locked in. It's like 3:03 or something like that's our tee time. So we get there and we're checking in, and this bundle of joy behind the counter. She's like, so the carts are running 30 minutes behind. And I'm like, okay. Can you tell me what that means? The carts are 30 minutes behind. I'm like, all right. So is that impacting our tea time? Is that what you're saying? Well, yes. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, that's good. So can we just go play anyways? Well, you can't walk. I'm like, well, we've done it before, but like, if we took off walking, would you bring us the cart out when they came in? Oh, I'm not leaving here.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do we do? She's like, well, just wait over there where the carts are, and then like when one comes up, about your tea time, then just go ahead. We're like, okay. So like that doesn't make any sense.
She was very rude.
Very rude. Very just like. So we grab a beer. We sit at the bar. There's a little bar area there. We grab a beer. The gal that brings us the beer is running the beer cart, so she just brings us beer and then she leaves. So we're like, I guess we're not going to get a bill. And then Pumpkin behind the counter, she's finally like, oh, you guys are still here? Are you going to play or what? And we're like, You told us it was like 30 minutes behind. It's been about 20. So she's like, yeah, you probably go get a cart now. I'm like, okay. So we take our free beers and we go outside and there's like no fucking carts there. And there's like, what, 6 or 7 carts at least backed up on the first tee box, maybe more.
Yeah. That's a muni.
Yeah, a crappy, very crappy rent. So we're like standing there, we're like, you wanted to say screw this? Like this is bullshit. I'm thinking, yeah, I think we should say just go pound sand. And then these 2 dudes roll up like, hey, you guys need a cart? I'm like, yeah. So we get it, but then some dude took it and had to go wash it apparently and then bring it back. And then we finally got to go get in line to play golf.
Yeah, and also like, so I hadn't played golf in several months.
It's been forever.
Micah probably too, and then we don't warm up. We're not pussies.
No.
We're not gonna warm up. We just
Jesus,
we just step up in the first hole. It's just like we're just hacking.
Yeah, it's bad.
We're missing the ball, and then you got all these people backed up behind you. It's stressful.
Well, we hit it like topped off over to the right. Both of us went to the right.
Remember the guy?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Picked up my ball after he recognizes my ball, and then I went over to Micah's ball, and then I saw him go back to my ball and pick it up, and I was like, "That's mine." He's like, "Oh, yeah, you want it?
You want it?"
Yeah, yeah.
Joel's like, I'm actually gonna play it if you put it back down. The guy's like, oh yeah, like
his buddy like yelled at him. He's like, what are you
he's like, I'm sorry guys, we're still laughing about it. Yeah, but he's like, hey, is this your ball? Yeah, put it down. Like, do you want it? No, I'm gonna play it. He's like, oh, okay. Like, just like, yeah, thanks, buddy. Bring it on over here, and I'll just put it in my pocket. It was like that fairway was coming back this way. We were going this way. It was like right in the middle too. It wasn't like way across their fairway or something. Like
if I did that to Junior, he would hit me with his pick.
It was just so random. We're like first hole, like, oh, this is just gonna be dandy. Yeah. So we ended up there's a dude and this like, I don't know, 8 or 9 or 10-year-old kid behind us. We finally a couple holes in, like, you guys want to jump in with us if you put up with us? So we played the rest of the round with 9 holes with them, but it was freaking dark when we shouldn't have probably even played the last hole, but we're like, screw this. We only played 9. So yeah, it was entertaining though. I gotta say that. But yeah, quite the we're so spoiled for when we usually play golf to have that. I was like, what the? No wonder people get all mad. Like, seriously, especially with Pumpkin of Joy behind the counter about like, well, I'm not leaving here. Well, obviously you haven't left here in a long time, so sorry to bother you. But yeah, like just so
that
random.
golf course, the other golf course down in Lakeview ever sell, Richard?
Nope. Still for sale if anybody wants to golf course.
You can put cows on that golf course too, buddy.
Good.
We should all pitch in and buy a golf course.
I got $50.
Yeah.
I'm down for sure.
Maybe we can trade a few cows.
Yeah.
Provide accounting services.
That's what we need.
Buy a Airbnb in Pendleton.
You have to diversify, Richard.
There you go.
What about the Airbnb?
You've got to find.
You thought you were going to buy an Airbnb.
Find something that Richard.
Yeah.
We got to find something Richard can donate his commission to.
Absolutely. Yeah. We could build an Airbnb at the golf course. I think that would be awesome. So
I got so many ideas. So many good ideas.
All we need is money and time. That's all we need. All is well.
Mostly just money.
Well, yeah, but I mean the time to spend it all. Yeah. The time to spend your money is important.
Missed Joel buying cows earlier.
So. Oh yeah, that's right. You're in for a cow for Joel to run on your place, or else Joel will buy it and then you'll just run it. And he's gonna do a contest to see who raises the best cow between you 3. You're on mute. We can't hear all these brilliant thoughts.
I want to see the cow that Joel buys.
Well, no, you're buying it. You're buying it. He's just going to Venmo money. So
no, I need the entertainment out of it.
Yeah, that would be fun too. I mean, you should probably take it to the auction.
I've got visions of what was the Woody Harrelson movie with the Kingpin? Yeah. Milking the cow.
Yeah. Took a while to get warmed up, but yeah. I'm just gonna go brush my teeth now.
That's the cow I see Joel buying.
Yeah, it would be. would be awesome. I think.
No, we have a good idea. It's with record. One of the ideas is you know, I don't know what you do with cows, but I'll come up there, you record me, you tell me what to do.
Yeah, we can call it doing it with Joel. We're gonna put him in different
doing
positions,
it with Joel.
and he can do stuff like saddle a horse or take, give a vaccine or pull a
Milk a
calf or
bull.
preg check or all these kind of things. This week on doing it with Joel.
You don't help Raleigh other than tell me what to do, and then I have to go do it.
But be nice. Look at Raleigh thinking
Just
already.
really
He's
pour
like,
instructions and watch what happens.
yeah, exactly.
I can't.
Now, what you want to do is, you want to move around a lot, and make a lot of noise. Tuck and roll. Yeah, establish dominance.
Doing it with Joel today. We're gonna brand Joel's cow.
Yeah, absolutely. I think whole sub-segment we came up with, doing it with Joel. I think it'll be good.
First, you got to build a fire, Joel.
Yes.
What do we do?
Get 2
I
sticks.
don't know.
Yeah.
Got any matches?
Yeah, my ass in your face. No, wait, that's right. Oh, that's right. Yeah. So
But yeah, I don't know. If you don't want me to run a cow on your thing,
yeah.
But we
fine.
got to come up with a brand for you first, Joel.
Mhm.
Yep.
Get your brand registered.
This cow belongs to Joel. Keep your hands off. Oh.
Maybe that'll just be the brand. It just says Joel.
Joel. Yeah.
Yeah.
JHC. There we go.
Jesus H Christ.
At gmail.com. So
Yeah.
FR.
yeah, we could have like a QR code brand. Would that be cool? Yeah.
Can you put colors in a brand?
A little
I
blotchy.
don't know.
Colors.
Black. That's about it.
I want
Yeah.
White.
more color.
Why is
guess-
it freeze brand?
Yeah, wide if you freeze brand. So
Branding's racial.
You heard it here first, folks.
you're here first, folks. Not racist. It's racial. I think that's a whole different level of activity. Branding is racial.
It's black and white.
That way we can scream out loud too. Let's go, Brandon. And so it would be a different version. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want a cow though.
See,
don't
I
know.
think we can help you.
2 of them.
Mouse just said it would be better than watching Dale Brigsby. So
Oh my gosh.
I
We could
think
turn this into a franchise.
we certainly could. I was just going to say, folks out there listening have suggestions of what they want to see on Doing It with Joel. We'd certainly be open to those suggestions also. So it almost might turn into a Super Dave episode.
Most folks would recommend not having a camera follow me.
I think we could do that for sure. We could do that on some GoPro shit. Yeah. And we could make some money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to put a GoPro on pot roast and have him like look stuff up on the internet. We could sell that for a lot of money every month. I think you just pot roast, like sitting there thinking out loud would be scary enough. I think without any kind of outside, dare I say, stimulation, just, it's roast o'clock. What are you guys doing? Yeah, just sitting around watching roast. Because then we could have a crossover episode of Doing It with Joel and Roast-A-Rama, and that would break the internet, truly.
Go to Google. What time is it in Bosnia right now?
Bosnia, that reminds me. Yeah, that would be.
What are you doing, Barros? What do you care? Who cares what time it is in Bosnia?
That's where old Trampolina Whizbang lives. I wanted to say hi. Yeah.
How high is the highest you can jump on a trampoline?
That would be awesome. People just send in random questions and Roast has to look them up or just answer them. Sort of like the redneck version of Hollywood Squares, like just. Oh, what a national treasure that person is. Yeah, crossover episodes of Doing It with Joel and Reaching with the Roast. Ooh, there we go. Reaching with the Roast. That would be gold, absolute gold.
Doing It with Joel and Reaching with the Roast.
Oh,
Huh. Sounds like a bad night in Krabby's.
See, exactly. Like there's a good night, but
yeah.
that was always the next day. You're like, whoa, look at your hand, the Krabby stamp. Oh shit. Yeah.
Oh.
I've defiled myself.
Bad choices were made. Yes.
Nothing good happens after midnight.
There's that. I think at 9 a.m. it would be bad at Krabby's. I'm just saying.
Nothing below ground for sure.
For sure. Yeah. Oh, how do we get
How do you
here?
mute this thing? There we go.
I don't know. Now you're figuring it out. Oh, you've been muted a long time, Joel.
Oh Lord.
Are we still? Oh yeah. I guess we subtract on to getting the cows for Joel on Rawls Place now to bring him up to speed. So I'm also going to the National Cattlemen's Beef Association meeting next week. Sort of a last minute decision to drive over to that. The buddy of mine in Houston, lovely Houston, Texas. So that'll be fun though. I've got to go to NZ Bay for a couple of years, and so leaving Monday morning and heading out. So that'll be fun.
Very cool.
Yeah, my boss is like, they're still having that, and I'm like, it's in Texas. Oh, okay, that explains it. So yeah, so we were, because we're supposed to have a big meeting in San Diego earlier in January, and it got canceled because it was in California. So yeah, so away we go. But that's been those are the highlights. Having Mr. Joel hang out, that was a blast, and then got a good trip coming up for work, and so here we go. But that's all I have to say about that. Joel, you're still on mute, by the way.
Yeah, we haven't
There you
heard
go.
Richard's reach around.
Yep.
I was gonna say the National Cattlemen's Association meeting should be pretty sage grousey.
It could be. Yes, it could be.
What's that supposed to mean?
That's the big topic right now in the West.
What is it? So my friend Riley's wife, Dallas, works for ODFW,
Mhm.
and she does something with sage grouse. What's the deal? What's going on with sage grouse? What is that?
The government's new spotted owl.
Again,
Oh,
round 2 or 3 with sage grouse, right? Yeah.
I told her she
Yeah, so
could
anyways,
come
yeah,
on
it's
here and talk about it if we wanted to.
She probably declined that, I'm
No.
gonna guess.
You're going
Government
to
people
decline?
can't answer questions.
Yeah.
Government people can't have real conversations or answer questions.
Oh, she can. She's great.
Well,
Is
like
she- no, but
physically,
she
I'm
works for the
sure,
federal
but like her employment would probably severely frown upon that, I'm gonna guess. But like, I'm sure physically in a one-on-one situation, I'm
Yeah.
sure she's more than competent. Yeah.
Let's get her on. Let's see what she does.
If she's
You guys
willing to come
hammer her
on, we'll talk for sure. But
For a long time, when she was talking about sage grouse, I thought she was saying sage grass, and I thought it was some sort of a grass.
gotcha.
Uh,
That's next, probably. So
learned that like 6 months ago that she was dealing with some sort of bird.
like that changes my perspective entirely.
I
We're checking
I
out
have-
for
I
the
have-
sage
I'm
grouse
hopeful.
migrations.
Now, after listening to Raleigh, I'm sort of hopeful the wolves move in and eat all the sage grouse, and then it won't be an issue where we're at anymore.
There you
we
go.
don't have to worry about them.
That'd be
So,
kind of a fine how
I
you
think
do.
I'd rather deal with the wolves than sage grouse.
Most definitely.
So,
Interesting.
yeah, sage grouse is a bad deal. I don't really. It's like the FBI throwing those, being the ones that are behind all like the kidnapping, like.
Mhm.
And when was
And-
it the FBI? Oh, on
And
that
the 6th
day
too.
when they were Yeah.
Yeah.
When the only guy that got arrested was an FBI guy that was arrested by another FBI guy. Yeah.
The guy that was like, we got to go storm the building. That dude. Yeah.
Yeah. The stage grouse is just something that's really good for the public, but it's a completely different power play, and it has nothing to do with saving a bird.
It's a red herring.
If I believe,
some would say.
Yeah, if I believed for a second it had anything to do with the bird, I might want to play along with it.
Yeah, absolutely. But
I ended up playing along with it. I know it's not about a bird, and the spotted owl was never about a bird.
Nope.
It was more about cultural genocide than anything. So, well, now that's just gonna ruin my reach around.
There's no way you can ruin your reach around, Richard.
So I had big success since we talked last. I sold my first ranch property.
Woohoo!
So, yeah, that was super exciting.
Congratulations.
Yes. So I sold it probably at a level that I can now consider myself an actual ranch broker. So
Nice.
Is that the one you had pictures of on Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, look nice.
Yeah, it was sort of on the edge of the burn, so it was. It's going to take a little rehab to get it going. But the guys that buying it, really cool. Two really cool guys that just really into that kind of stuff. So, yeah, there's a really new class of buyer coming in, and I hope to meet more guys like that. I'm working on. Yeah, so things are going good in that department, and then Richard was gone. He had his birthday over the time that since we talked last, big 4. So that's good. We're still, and we got preschool, first day of preschool tomorrow.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah. Still aren't 100% on the potty training, but we're going to give it a wing. We're going to prey on peer pressure, maybe push us over the edge. So,
Worked for you. So,
yeah. I don't think anybody can shame you quite like your peers can. Your mom and dad sure can't. So
if you like wet yourself in kindergarten, you never recover from that your entire life. I don't think.
Is this
I've
experience?
I know people that wet themselves in college and they got over it.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah. Didn't bother me any. I never met those
That's
people.
a different scenario.
Yeah. Whatever, poopy pants, Joel. So yeah, it's okay. We can talk about it here. This is a safe space. This is the trust tree. So let it rip, tater chip.
And then another thing that I've been working on for probably, I'd say 14 months. I've been visiting with this guy that's a private money manager. He just manages a few families' monies. He lives in Great Falls, Montana. We start visiting about every month or so, and he was putting together a business idea, and they just kept working away at it. And so then our conversations moved to Wednesday every week calls, and it was just such a fascinating topic that I just sort of stuck with it. I've been in these situations before and got to the point where it looked like some sort of business was going to come into fruition, and I'd say, hey, if this is going to become a real business, then I'm going to need equity or something. And the comment is they're always shocked that the guy that's been advising them for weeks on end, helping them out, would actually want equity. And we're like, no, we're doing this so you could pay us. So, anyways. I worked with this guy, and this week they approached me, and they're going to put me on the board of directors and give me an equity stake in the company, and going to raise regen beef. Can't give much more details than that, but it won't be traditional grass-fed, and it's goes from the soil to retail. So pretty exciting project, and they plan to scale it pretty fast, and that'll be an interesting little extra thing I have on my plate now. And so we'll see what happens after that. And that's about all we got going on. Cows are doing good. We could sure use a little bit more snow and rain. It's not looking good. People keep reminding me that we got February and March to go.
Yeah.
So I got my I got my fingers crossed that we'll at least get like the minimum will grow a good hay crop and keep everybody happy. But we don't see something materialize in a month and a half. Probably the desert permits aren't even going to be an issue this year, and you probably just
Dang.
keep as many cows as you can feed next winter. So that's what it's looking like down here.
Water issues already.
Just being a pessimist, I guess.
No, it has to cross the line sometime with, realists also. So
Yeah.
that's the tough part.
So yeah, Debbie Downer, but
Wah,
it's overall
wah.
overall things are pretty good. So, and nothing else. The weather's been really great for feeding.
Well, outstanding.
Yep.
I'd throw a quick shout out to Jen, aka Party Mom in California. She just wrote in on the live feed. Y'all inspired me to get involved with our local Grange, and I haven't missed a meeting in 3 months.
Wow.
That is outstanding and exactly what we're
Yeah.
talking about local
And
activity.
way to still have a functional Grange.
Yeah,
That's
very
awesome.
cool too. Northern California area. So Party Mom, you're always a badass. Keep it up. We appreciate it. So that's outstanding.
I wonder if you
So-
can still get health insurance through Grange.
I think you can. I think there's still a national association, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it's awesome.
Hey, do any of you guys know anything about the carnivore diet?
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
I decided tonight I'm gonna do that for like 30 days. Give it
Cool.
a shot. Yeah, if you have any suggestions on where to buy meat on the internet, send that to me.
Yeah, that's
Desert Mountain grass-fed beef.
that's a
.com.
great one.
Which one?
DesertMountainGrassFedBeef.com.
Good
Okay.
source.
What would you
Um,
do? Just eat a bunch of steak? You get steak, pork, ribs, sausage.
My buddy Jeff
Hamburger.
at Colorado
Burger.
Craft does carnivore diet, has been doing it for a while. If you want to talk to him, I'll put you in touch. Not that you have to buy craft beef, but he's been on it for quite a while. So that would be a good resource for you.
I'm gonna try it. None of you guys have tried that before. You probably just do that normally, don't you?
Kind of by default. Yeah. So with an occasional key lime pie, which doesn't really probably fall in the carnivore diet, but since I'm in Florida, yeah, what the hell?
I might do it with you, Joel, because I have learned that one of the long-term effects of having long COVID is very aggressive and extreme weight gain, which I have got to say is a reality. So
Yeah, are you sore? Like, are you?
I was
like,
sore, but I was reading a story about a guy that had what I had and gained 80 pounds in 60 days after he recovered. So yeah, I got to do something because everything I've always done to lose weight is not working.
well, let's just start eating meat and eggs. See what happens. Do it for 30 days.
I'll go carnivore 30 days with you
Cool.
as I eat a
Didn't
We're not
you
blueberry.
start-
do keto
what-
for a while, Richard?
Yeah, I always had really good luck with keto. So
I did
yeah,
too.
and paleo is really, really good.
Mhm.
For some reason, everybody says it's my age, but I've never had weight gain like this before. So
Yeah, like
Look at that puppy.
sophomore year of college, maybe when we're, sustainable calories would come from
yeah,
38 six packs, but that's different. Yeah.
yeah.
Carnivore sounds fun. Yeah, I haven't done it yet, but I would be willing. Yeah, Wild Fork is another place I get a lot of stuff. Joel, like the ribs came from Wild Fork. Pretty,
Where are they
pretty.
based at?
Honestly, Richard, I don't know. It's pretty close by to me because I get it within a day. Is where their
wow.
place is at. Yeah, a lot of
Well,
options.
They're learning with the beef. So beef sales, that the more centrally located it is to the center of the country, the easier it is. So a lot
Mhm.
of the online food sales are all moving to like Indianapolis and that part of the country because the shipping, if you're doing anything at scale, you almost have to be there for the shipping to be
Yeah.
competitive.
Yeah, I get Desert Mountain, Colorado Craft. I like Heart Brand out of Texas. I like their picanha is really good, and if you can get some other stuff from them as well. But Desert Mountain's got phenomenal hamburger. Really like it. So you have a lot of good options.
Do you have much for a freezer, Joel?
No. I have a. God, I should show everybody, shouldn't I?
That'd be kinky. Yeah,
You want to see my freezer?
I do. Yeah,
Let's do this shit.
I'm loving it.
Can I flip this around? What do you think?
That's what she said. I think you should be able to. Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
I'm going to be 90. And if I remember anything at all, it's going to be that's what she said. So guarantee you. They're walking through the household.
This is the refrigerator.
Oh, it's like hidden in the wall. Gotcha.
Yeah. This is the. That's pretty much it.
That's your freezer?
Well, there's like an ice trays up here. I keep my cold hard cash right there.
Cool. Cold hard cash. There you go. It's out here first, folks. That's your cow fund. Okay, freezer's on the bottom. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
So no, not a lot of room to like store a ton of meat.
Yeah.
Get rid
What
of
do
the
you
ice
think?
cream.
Oh, there you
Clear
go.
up some room.
That would help. Got to eat that. You just can't throw it away. That's my thing. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Easy.
There we go.
So yeah,
That was a
need
tour.
something.
That was actually just a tour of my entire apartment.
Saw the whole place. Yeah, like just peek out the door and we're spent. There we go. Yeah.
You downsized, right?
A little bit. There's about the same.
My volume went down all the way.
Did you downsize when you moved apartments?
Yeah. I think we went from 550 square feet to about 470. So a little smaller. At that point, doesn't really make much difference, though, right?
That's a good
I would
point.
say that's when it would make the most difference.
If you go from a 2,800 square feet to 25,
losing 40 square
Third.
feet in a 2,000 square foot house versus losing one in a 400 square foot house. That's a lot. That's a big loss.
Yeah, not a lot of space. Yeah. Whatever. Yeah.
efficient. Yeah. So you'll need to find some place you can get frequent shipping for little to no cost. Also, would be helpful. Not necessarily essential, but helpful. Yeah.
You know who's close to you there? Is White Oak Pastures.
Oh yeah, it's true. Just to the south, huh? Yeah, check
Yeah.
them out too.
Okay. We actually have there's a meat store a block away.
Oh, that's awesome.
But
Just put you in the poorhouse.
yeah, it's expensive, right? I don't know. Whatever. I'm only going to do it for 30 days.
And then what? Back to your slothful ways.
Yeah, I'm going to order pizza. And then, I don't know.
I love it. That's my
It's like going to. Have you ever quit a gym?
Have you ever joined a gym?
Yeah. Well,
Good luck
always-
quitting a gym.
it always strikes me as like funny when like you have to go in and like I've joined gyms and then I've quit them and like why are you quitting? Like, don't fucking worry about it. I'm done.
What's it to you?
I accomplished my goals. I'm in shape and
Yeah.
I don't need you anymore.
Bye. You usually have to go in and like blood print and like you just can't like cancel online or call up like you physically have to. Like, that's what I've heard. Yeah.
Man, coming back to I talk about him a lot on here, but Ryan Hamilton. Has everybody seen that yet? Ryan Hamilton's Happy Face on Netflix, stand-up comic from Idaho.
I don't think so.
Oh man, he
Been a
has a really funny bit about the gym, And then he goes into like how he had to cancel it. Like, so now he has a lifetime supply of envelopes because you have to mail in a letter.
Yes, that dude. Yes, that is hilarious. Yeah, like send him the letter.
Goes into the gym and all the machines are taken. And he's like, well, I guess I'm doing neck again today.
Yeah. That guy was funny. Yeah. That was really funny. Oh.
He got hit by a car the other day. He's hurt.
Ouch.
Collapsed lung, compound fracture.
Shouldn't have been standing there.
Yeah, so he put on Instagram. He's going back to Idaho to recover.
That works.
I just read a comment on the online. It's from Opie. I had a camper for my pickup that had bigger square footage than Joel's house.
It had a bigger freezer too. Yeah.
Then I thought it was really funny. As directly under that, it says community standards, and I was unaware that we had any.
What? That's not acceptable. How do we get rid of those? That is, thanks, Ope. We should have known we could count on you for that. I had a camper for my pickup bigger than Joel's house. Bigger freezer too. That's awesome.
My studio apartment that I had a few years ago. That place was probably like 350, 400 square foot. In the kitchen, I didn't have an oven, stove. What do you call it?
Both.
The thing that opens up.
Oven.
The thing you cook on.
Or in. If you're cooking in it, it's an oven. Yeah.
I had like an electric top that turned on, and then the fridge was literally like you just pull it out, and it was just a drawer. That place is rad though. You went there, Micah. You went there, right?
Yeah.
You and Pot Roast stayed there.
No, that wasn't me. No, that was I didn't make that trip.
Kurt.
Yeah.
No.
That's when they were headed to Scotland, and I had a different route. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was at your other place.
Yeah, and then my apartment smelled like Pot Roast cigarettes for a week.
Ever. Yeah. I think roasts could quit smoking for 6 months and still smell like cigarettes.
Place was priceless though. I had a naked
roast.
neighbor. Right?
Yeah.
These big windows, and then across a little walkway there was like more big windows. Had a naked neighbor over there. It's pretty cool.
What was his name?
I know it was a her.
Oh, okay. I just called him Dandy Dawn. Yes.
But she liked to just hang out, walking around her little apartment, no clothes on.
I mean, who are you to judge? I think that's a wonderful thing. The air shower. Benjamin Franklin used to do it.
It wasn't the same gal that ate chicken wings and threw them on the floor, though, right?
No, this one was nicer looking than that.
He'd have brought her some KFC if he had thought about it. So
saw her in the laundry room one day. I just got like super nervous. Couldn't talk to her.
Hey, is it always laundry day? Because like you're naked most of the time. So like you should do laundry more often and you wouldn't be naked. Yeah. You need to borrow some
good
soap.
in clothes too.
Yeah. I'd recognize you with your clothes on. I'll be damned. Yeah.
I didn't want to say anything and make her like realize
Stop.
it, you know?
Like that you're the dude across the way. Like it's like, I didn't recognize you. Oh, let me do this. Oh, now I know who you are. Yeah. Like peeking around, like, oh, hi, neighbor. Yeah. Like, peering through the blinds. Yeah. Oh, you're a lot taller than I thought you'd be. Oh, yeah. I get that a lot. Yeah. So. How can Joel, you want to take us real quick through the last entertainment spotlight that you and I watched and probably nobody else did?
Was it the I was trying to remember what it was supposed to be. Was it the one with Super Dave Osbourne,
It was,
Bob
yeah,
Einstein?
Super Bob. Yeah.
Anybody watch it? Raleigh? Did you watch Super Dave?
Bro, it's like I don't even
Do
watch
you
the
know-
podcast, let alone the fucking movie.
Do you know who Super Dave Osbourne was?
Not a fucking clue.
Oh man, you have to.
you
watch
probably
this
seen
thing.
him on TV when you were little and just forgot. But he was like the stunt man that it always went wrong, in like every
Yeah, he's
single
always
time.
on like Letterman and
He had an
all
was
them
it
late night
HBO
shows.
show? I think he had a yeah. Hello, douchebag.
He had a
That's fine, yeah.
super dry sense of humor, and they showed a clip of it, his very first TV appearance. So he's actually, and I didn't know this until I watched it. His brother is Albert Brooks.
Yeah. Actor.
Albert Brooks changed his name, presumably because his name would have been his real name is Albert Einstein.
His dad's a dick. Yeah.
So, and his dad was like a famous comedian way back when, like on the radio, like played characters and stuff. But he had this weird idea that he was going to play this really dry character, and he went on this radio show, and he pretended that he was the guy that puts the stars in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and they gave him enough cement for 2 stars, and he had enough left over, and somebody like bribed him to put
another one in.
like, put another one in somebody's random's name, somebody random. He just plays these characters so straight. He also is a great joke teller, and I tell these jokes to people all the time. He has that one about what I told it in Florida, didn't I, Micah? It was
Yeah. I can't remember what it
oh,
was.
it was P.S. Your cunt is in the
in the sink. Yeah. You just can't blast in cold like that. Amy's earbuds almost popped out of her ears. Like,
well, the real quick version of the joke is this man and woman
I can't fucking tell this joke on here. Oh, good. It'd be funny.
This woman's about to get married, and she's very nervous. And she goes to her mom, and she expresses to her mother how nervous she is, and was a little reluctant to say why. And ultimately, her mother got it out of her that she's kind of loose down there, and her mother was like, "Oh, I'm so glad you finally said something. I didn't know if you had the same affliction, but this runs in the family. I have this problem. My mother had this problem. Your sisters have this problem. But you don't need to worry about it too much, because she was very worried about her wedding night. And here's what you do: you go down to the butcher, get a pound of liver, and then when he goes to you go to the bathroom before you're about to what do they call it? Consummate the marriage. Go to the bathroom, then come out, turn out the lights, and he'll never know the difference."
You were worried about cleaning that part up?
Yeah. Well, in this segment of Doing It with Joel, he tells a Bob Einstein joke.
So she does what her mother says, and they have a wonderful night after the wedding. She wakes up the next day, and he's not there. But she rolls over, and there's a note on the pillow, and she picks it up, and the note says like what's her name? To my dearest
wife. Yeah. I thought it was Anna. Yeah.
Yeah, to my dearest Anna. I can't express to you how happy you've made me yesterday to finally marry the love of my life. And I just look forward to a life together of just pure bliss and happiness. I can't wait to raise children with you. I just know from here on out, my life is going to be exponentially better, and it's just going to get better every day that passes.
You said he got married?
Yeah, they got married. What?
No. Sorry.
So it's just this beautiful love note, and he's like, "I've gone out to get us breakfast, and if you wake up before this gets here, just before I get back, just know that I love you, and I will be back forever and ever. P.S. Your cunt is in the sink."
You heard it here, folks.
But in the clip, what he does is he was on the set of Curb Your Enthusiasm on the one Jerry Seinfeld was on.
Oh,
They
yes.
get a clip of him telling the joke to Jerry.
Yeah.
And Jerry talked about it in the episode of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, that like that wasn't scripted and they barely knew each other. And
You hit him right between the eyes with that
Bob
one.
just came up to tell him a joke, and he tells jokes in such a straight-laced manner. And Larry David's standing there watching. It's a, oh man, it's
If
beautiful.
you've ever seen the Super Dave show, it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I watched it when I was younger, and it made me laugh like every single time, because you always knew it was going to go bad. You just didn't know how or who was going to be involved, but it was always, and Super Dave's being strapped in with genuine Saskatchewan sealskin bindings, folks. And every time it would just go to shit. And so, damn it, Fuji, you fucked me over again. And so to see like all the behind the scenes of him, and like when he was on Larry David and like Smothers Brothers or something else he was on a long time ago also, where he started. And so really, really funny dude, but like obviously quirky and just a different approach. So I think if you get a chance, check that out. But you can go on YouTube and find Super Dave Osbourne clips, like just always getting hammered on.
Yeah, anyway, it came up because Super Dave died like 8 months ago or something.
Yeah.
Pretty young. So they made this documentary about his career.
It's pretty damn good. But not for the masses. Should be, but we'll get everybody caught up. So it was fun.
It's on Amazon, right? Is that what it was on?
I think it was on Prime. Yeah. Hold on, I have our good friends at IMDb. They don't. Oh, I don't know. They don't tell you anymore.
Raleigh, I think you would actually really like it. I think you should put that on tonight. Give it a shot.
Put it on, Raleigh.
Like you in particular, I think you'd laugh at it.
You'll laugh and like it, mister. He's like, yeah, you're breaking up, Joel. I'm having a hard time hearing you. No, seriously.
Actually, just switching over to Amazon Prime to see if I can find it.
Yeah, it's the
what was it called?
The Super Bob Einstein movie.
Yeah.
Like
good. The one where he's on top of the tour bus, which is his most famous sketch. Won't ruin it, but it's hard to ruin,
he's playing a piano on top of the tour bus and they go underneath like a low overpass and it like just completely like shreds him off the top. But he's always just getting his ass kicked. Anyways, it was awesome. But I suppose we should pick the next one while we got everybody somewhat sane and sound. If you have any suggestions, we didn't even assign it for this week. We just let it rip, tater, chip. Amy, I know you're always quiet. Do you wanna speak up and say something?
Eating Ritz.
No, that's a Triscuit. God damn. Yeah,
Are
that's a Triscuit. Yeah, that's a Triscuit. That does not fit the carnivore diet.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't even come close to keto either.
Come close to keto.
You want me to come up with a spotlight, or you just wanted me to say something?
Well, both. I think if we could get a twofer, we'd take it. Yeah.
Oh.
That's.
Did you ever read Trinity?
Started to. Yeah. It's rather long.
That's a little long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be.
Is that one of the bow and arrow movies with Jennifer Lawrence?
No, it's an old Irish book.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, Leon Uris about the beginnings of the IRA. It's kind of interesting.
Very cool. I bought like 9 of the books. Yeah, I found them on the eBay. So.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
That was a score. I don't know.
If anybody else, I thought you always have good suggestions, but I thought we would throw that out to the group. Rawls, any suggestions?
Watching the other day.
What's that?
Can't remember what I was watching the other day that I thought would be good.
Did you guys see Edge of War? Okay. It's a new show on the Netflix about 1938, before World War II, with Hitler, and about the Munich Agreement. It's new. I don't want that to be the thing, but I'm just throwing it out there if you guys want to watch something. It's pretty good. Watch
Edge
it
of
last night.
War, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Cool. We'll have to check it out anyways.
Really good movie.
Anybody listen to that horrifying Joe Rogan podcast?
Which one?
Well, there's a doctor guy. He was horrifying. Where they?
Yeah, he was terrible.
Well,
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. It was what was his name? Robert.
Dr. Robert something.
Oh, that reminds me. That was one of my random topics for this week too. About did you see anything about Neil Young? Like, either take my music off Spotify or Joe Rogan's
weird.
podcast. So they took away Neil Young.
Oh yeah, I didn't say it. Dr. Robert Epstein, which is the same name as the guy we're gonna watch.
Yeah, we already did. Yeah,
Bob Epstein.
Yeah, I listened to that.
I couldn't listen to it. He was so condescending and.
The Jordan Peterson's just came out on there too. I haven't listened to that one.
Yeah, 4 hours.
Yeah, 13 minutes even.
I'm almost done with the Jordan Peterson one. Pretty good. That's where I came up with my idea to do the carnivore diet, because that's what he's doing that.
I like it. Rawls, you okay?
Yeah, no, I was just flipping through Amazon there looking to see if I could find that guy.
It might be on
Find
HBO.
it?
I think it's on HBO. Scraps, are you all right? It's okay.
I did not find it. No.
It might be on HBO. Do you have that?
Oh, probably somewhere
There we
in
go.
this thing.
Check it on HBO.
Yeah.
I just got the new book. What is it? It's on the counter, or I just go get it. But
Perhaps it's just staring at you behind you.
he wants to go outside. Yeah. James O'Keefe just released a book, American Muckraker. I just bought that. That'll be interesting.
He had a good interview with Rising on the Hill about that.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it just arrived today. So today was the official release date. Or no, Tuesday was it?
He really called him out on the floor. They were hunting a hole when he got done with them.
Sure. He's the guy that has Project Veritas, everybody, if you've heard of that. So should be interesting. But we still don't have like a movie or a book or anything. So
I kind of skimmed over, but yeah, the Neil Young put out on a letter that said you can't have Young and Rogan, you have to choose.
Yeah.
And
like,
they fucking chose Rogan.
Like, okay, bye. Yeah, I thought that was
the funny thing about it, he immediately deleted that demand from his website apparently. And I think it's probably he's gonna get sued because he sold at least half of his catalog recently. I Googled it. I was like, does he even own his music? He doesn't. He doesn't own it. His partners are going to sue the shit out of him.
So stupid. Like, really, so stupid. Like, okay, you think back where Neil Young came from, like the hippie was like all about, freedom, love, peace, blah, blah, blah. And now he's like, I don't like what Rogan says about vaccines. So you have to choose between my music, which I like some Neil Young songs, or Joe Rogan. I'm like, well, they're like, well, bye, like that's not difficult. And so like they didn't waste any time in like pulling the rug out from that one. I thought that was extra funny.
All these people calling for censorship of Joe Rogan and demanding Spotify, like the 270 fucking jerk off doctors.
Yeah.
And I say jerk off doctors because they aren't all doctors. They're like,
and they're not like a good doctor that would jerk you off. They're like jerk offs who happen to be doctors.
Like dentists and shit on there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're a podiatrist. What do you fucking know?
All these people, one of the things that it occurs to me like they don't want us listening to this because they think that we're going to hear it and believe it without a doubt. I'm sorry, like I like Joe Rogan for a lot of reasons. He's stimulating conversation, it gets you thinking.
Inquisitive.
But I don't hear things and immediately go, "Oh yeah, that's Joe Rogan said it. It must be true." And
You know,
so
like,
they are making a leap in an assumption that we hear it on Rogan, so it's misinformation. If he says something wrong, like when did it go from like not everything you hear needs to be 100% accurate, and very few things in life are 100%.
it's the fact that it's different than what they think. That's all.
Well, it's that you don't need to hear they want you to hear everything they tell you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the point.
But it's insulting to
contrary,
people.
you should.
So really, it's insulting to people. Most things they say or do are insulting to somebody, like, especially that. Like, you think I'm not smart enough to weed through and make my own choice? Like,
Yeah, it's insulting to think that we can't handle hearing something that's not 100% accurate, and
or maybe controversial, or
nothing's 100%. Not nothing, but
rarely. But
not everything is 100% accurate in the first place. Like,
math is about the only thing that's 100% one way or another. But yeah,
that's not even 100%.
It's an opinion, dude. So like, I'm going to take it in and mull it around for a while. I'm going to call bullshit, or like, maybe, but it's not really going to change my day unless you make a big shit and deal about it and try to make it so I can't hear it.
Bad things need to come to these people at a certain point once everything cools off. And we need to circle back to these people that tried to, advocate for censorship on that level. And they need to be removed from, they need to be punished, honestly.
Well, they just need to be called out and like, no, it's not going to happen. Like, shut up, dude. Like, there's no circling back on it. It needs to happen right away. Like, that's the thing. People getting banned on platforms and this and that and the other. And just because somebody doesn't agree with what they're saying, like, that is just the scariest thing we've ever had going on in this world, in my mind. Like, just because somebody disagrees with that, like, it's different from what your narrative is, or like asking questions, like, that's what it's all about. If something doesn't stand up to questions, then it's obviously fake, or really weak. So it's all about that.
Like, I was listening. I'm about 3.5 hours into the Jordan Peterson one, and yes, he says a lot of stupid shit in it. But don't underestimate people and their ability to cipher through that and recognize what's bullshit and stuff that seems like, oh, that's an interesting way to think about it. And then you can do your own research.
That's the whole. When I was a boy, we were taught about the melting pot that America is, because of all these different opinions and cultures and everything coming together. And that's what it was all about, is like learning about different points of view, different experiences. And it never was like, if it's different than what I think or know, then obviously you're wrong or you're some kind of evil person. It was like, there's all these different things out there that you learn and hear and think about, and that critical thinking. And you're like, well, given what I know already, that seems odd, but it's feasible. Like, and then all of a sudden it's just like been like black or white. Like, if it's not what we think it is, then obviously you're wrong, and nobody should hear from you. And you're like, because it's quote unquote misinformation. I'm like, who decides that? Like, that's not your fucking job. Nobody's job to tell me what's misinformation or not. That's my job. I'm a human. Leave me alone.
It's hard to control a society when you don't control what they think.
Absolutely right, Rawls. What they see, what they hear, what they think. Yeah. So
this is the interesting thing about the two podcasts that I was telling you about, even though they might have been boring, like I might have been annoying. But I gotta say this one thing before I get off into this tirade. You got to remember that Tesla, the guy that we everybody idolizes now and thinks was so brilliant, he married a pigeon.
Like Nikola Tesla, that guy?
Yeah. It was a long-term relationship with the pigeon. So, but it doesn't make any difference as to what his science was.
No, it does not at all. Yeah. Great point.
But here's the two things I gleaned from James Lindsay and Dr. Robert Epstein. there's this new thing in finance right now called the ESG rating. So every company now has an ESG, and it stands for environmental, social, and governance. And so, like when you have Neil Young calling out Joe Rogan, it's part of this that he's really just attacking, and the people that are attacking Joe Rogan are attacking Spotify's social part of their ESG. And what ESG is a way to control private organizations via experts. So no,
I know I'm laughing like experts. I obviously don't
Yes.
believe them.
So really, it's this big movement in corporate America to turn over, because like if you don't have a there's to get to the point, if you don't have a high ESG rating, then your stock, you can't be traded on some hedge funds, you can't be in some IRAs, you can't be owned in some mutual funds. So it's a real dollar and cents thing, but it has nothing to do with ownership or investment or risk in the company. It's 100% based on what the people that prop themselves up at experts in these three different categories have to say. And it could be college professors, it could be Janet Yellen, it could be politics. But yeah, so it's a super scary idea. And both of those two guests brought this up. And I think that while it looks like the left is losing a lot of battles, they're winning this one.
Crazy.
So it's something that I think everybody should be paying attention to. And I even start to think about like starting to set up companies that purposely do not engage in ESG and are really like, I'm even wondering if you can go back to a point where you trade paper stocks and completely go off of internet and like trade all the shares via mail and that kind of stuff. And if you have the paper that says you have the stock, then you have the stock. You turn in all your SEC, buy a hard copy. I don't even know if it's legal to do that anymore. But what's happening with the control of through this ESG is just horrifying. And we have a lot of problems in this country, but I think the most scary one that we have looming on the horizon is ESG.
So that was on Bob Epstein when he was talking to Rogan. Is that right?
The best introduction to it, and you can get a lot of history, is James Lindsay.
Okay, Lindsay. Okay.
Dr. Epstein one, you should listen to Lindsay first and then listen to Epstein, because then you can see exactly how much control of the narrative that the tech companies have and media. And it's really amazing how brilliant this is. I don't think it's going to work because capitalism is just going to squish it, but it's going to make a lot of people's lives really miserable for a long time. And I think a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money over it. So
yeah, no, it's already happened. I do one of my jobs at work is regulatory development. So every time when new regulations come out, they go through a process, right? We have a team that fields them, does an initial analysis, then separates them out, and they send them to different parts of the compliance department. And I handle, I'm sort of a catch-all. So I handle it for the enterprise compliance team. So we have the private bank compliance team, the retail banking compliance team, the global banking, the global markets, and then enterprise, which is when something affects across the bank. So bank-wide enterprise compliance. And I've seen several of them in the last month or two that are ESG related. And I've been on risk committee meetings where ESG is a topic of conversation, one of the primary topics of conversation. It's already they're full speed ahead with this ESG nonsense. And I think it's going to be abused, clearly.
Obviously, experts. Yeah.
Like, so you say like you want to start a company or something that's going to be anti-ESG. Like, if you want to make money, just like tie it to ESG, and they're just going to give you free money for just calling yourself that. And if you, even though it's not a viable idea, if it's ESG related, and then a lot gets thrown into the bucket of ESG. Like, there's a new rule that it's not. I don't think it's. I don't know how enforceable it is, but like, so if you are a publicly traded company on the NASDAQ, for example, you have to have a certain amount of diversity on your board. It's an ESG initiative. And if you don't comply with it, then the NASDAQ will kick you off their exchange, stuff like that. So that didn't really apply to us because we're not traded on NASDAQ, but
it's still ridiculous.
yeah, it is. It's, I mean, there's a certain amount of, I don't know, there's importance to diversity.
You're not judging my company on my merits of what I produce and my efficiency and my profits and everything else. You're bringing up this freaking some kind of, unicorn farts and shit to regulate on, and I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and all these meetings, they talk a lot about our investments into ESG. And
well, I'm going to suggest that we do that James Lindsay podcast on Rogan then is the next entertainment spotlight, so we can dig back into this, because I think we have certainly unique perspective from Mr. Joel, obviously Bradbury as well, and even probably some of what Amy might have dealt with prior to or currently. So I think it would be good for everybody to listen to that one. It's episode 1767, which sounds like a really revolutionary episode for some reason also. But I suggest we do that for the next time to cover that, because it's Rogan. Everybody can download that pretty easy on Spotify or wherever else. Spotify's obviously the easiest place to find Rogan. And so episode 1767, James Lindsay on the Rogan podcast, I think would be a good one to listen through and get some more thoughts, because this idiocy is creeping up everywhere else. Just like another example today, where we're supposedly the poor dude that's retiring from the Supreme Court wasn't even planning on announcing. They just leaked it, basically said he is. And of course, now we have to have, I'm going to appoint a black woman for the Supreme Court. Doesn't matter who's like qualified or anything else. And how would you like to be the person that gets appointed just because you're checking a box? Like, how does that make you feel? Like, I like some companies a while ago that had to have so many females on their board, and I asked some gals I work with, I'm like, how would you like to be on the board just because of that? They're like, screw that shit. Like, I don't want to, like, what happened? Like, we're going to find the best person to do that. It's about their constitutional scholarship. Like, some of the people they're suggesting have been like a judge for less than a year. Like, insane. Like, that's not why you pick somebody for the Supreme Court or anything for that matter, but it's gone completely off the rails. And it's, I think, really tied to that same kind of stupidity.
I'm curious, like, so Raleigh, Richard, Amy, do you guys have to like actively worry about complying with environmental regulations, or does it just sort of take care of itself? And I ask that because, so I went to a town hall one time. We had the CEO of the U.S. business came and spoke to our department, and the head of HR was there too. And the head of HR also had the mandate of our environmental program and environmental investments. And they come in and they talk a big game about like, oh, we're very environmentally conscious and here's all the stuff we're doing. And at the end of the deal, like, I asked a question, and I was very nervous because I didn't want to like put our CEO on the spot, but I did it anyway. And I asked, like, you guys are talking this big game essentially, but my bank is one of our big clients is our clients are involved with the palm oil. They like cut down large swaths of the rainforest to plant palm. Am I on still? Where's Micah?
You're on.
Okay. So a huge environmental impact for the entire world is cutting down the rainforest to plant palm oil. Then they put in like shampoo and all that shit. So I called them out on it because there was a big article in the news a couple days prior to that about how my bank was continuing to bank them, and then they come out and they say, well, these are long-lasting relationships and we have to exit them, or we have to work with them as they transition into more sustainable methods. But how I see that in the world of compliance is that you make sweeping rules that are meant to discourage things like cutting down palm oil or cutting down rainforests for palm oil. But then you end up catching people like farmers in the US and ranchers, and you get them wrapped up in your nonsense, and it's more expensive and to jump through the hoops essentially to comply with these regulations, with whatever regulation it is. That, I don't know, does it affect you guys at all in your business? Any of the environmental regulations, I guess, that are sort of not applicable, but you have to spend resources and in an effort to comply with them.
This is my drum, so I'll let the other two answer that I'll answer.
I think from a public perception point of view, don't you think, Richard, like as far as your GAP certification goes, that you tout through whatever co-op you're in, I mean, those kinds of things, it's more of a proactive thing than it really is anything that's material.
Yeah, I agree.
So your co-op deals with it. So you're part of a co-op that has the compliance staff.
No.
That does all this work on your behalf, or what?
No, this is a real sore subject with me, but I'm sort of interested in Amy and Raleigh's answers because, like I said, I've been beating this drum for a long time. So
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time thinking about this.
No, to allude to what Amy was saying, yes, we actually have through our marketing services, we market our livestock with a third-party verification for natural through IMI Global. They certify that we're raising natural beef, that they come and inspect our ranch on an annual basis to make sure that we have no hormones or different products that are fed in our mineral packages. They go through, make sure we don't have any grain-fed sources, and that's from a marketing standpoint. As far as regulation, I mean, I take it back to the wolves here. They've got certain non-lethal deterrents that we have guidelines that we're supposed to abide by to give the wolf the benefit of the doubt that we're doing our part to take non-lethal measures to deter them from an environmental standpoint. You see it in various aspects. Anytime that you're, like I was talking about, folks that are running on Forest Service and government ground that have grazing allotments, I think that they definitely have a lot more hoops to jump through. I don't personally run on any government allotments at this point in time, so I can't be specific as to what all they have to deal with. Richard might be able to elaborate on that. I don't know.
Well, you look at the Jefferson County's issues with their irrigation project and the spotted frog at Wickiup. That has become such an environmental nightmare. And is it really the issue that they say it is, or are they just really trying to commodify their political stance? And that's really what it comes down to. That Richard talks about carbon credits. In my mind, that is just another way to put a dollar figure on somebody's political agenda.
Mhm.
I could be wrong there, but
Yeah, you get the sense that people get caught up, like they're not trying to capture like you guys, and when they devise a new piece of legislation, they end up capturing everybody when that's not
Well,
their
like from
objective.
EPA point of view, yeah, like if you have a feedlot, you have to have all that stuff compliant, or a dairy, you're
FO.
under the Water Protection Act and all that kind of crap. So you have to have a permit, you have to have a plan, you have to get inspected. I used to be the shit sheriff for Department of Ag. That was
A lot of
part of the deal.
a lot of the guys that are on the allotments out here are subject to NEPA, and which is an Environmental Protections Act, part of the Environmental Protections Act. So when their grazing is monitored on
certain height.
Yep, and they go through and make sure that you're not grazing within stream banks during spawning seasons. And I mean, there's a lot of environmental red tape that's attached to doing private business on government ground. So,
and even in the CSP programs that are here, you let yourself into these programs, and then automatically you have a governmental agency that is
monitoring,
intrinsically involved in your management decisions. So it's like the government saying that we don't trust you to do what you do and do it well. This laissez-faire idea of management, of natural resource management, has just gone out the window. And basically they're saying, we know better than you, we're going to help you make your management decisions. But it comes at if you take their money, then maybe they should be. But
And that's the lie at the heart of it all, is that
right there.
Is that the United States isn't regulated, and they have all these people in agriculture going out and contaminating the land and doing all this stuff. And how would you say this? We're in that position using synthetic fertilizers because of generations of government and corporate incremental. They basically, over generations, they've they've weaned, how would you say, they've reversed weaned farmers onto these different programs,
Subsidies.
and some of them are federal and some of them are corporate. But if you stack our environmental track record in the United States up against any other country, you will not find another country that's more regulated than us.
Not even remotely.
And I don't buy that France is, and I don't buy that Canada is. I think that if you just look at what a typical rancher or farmer has to do for their water rights and their water, I would say it's probably the most stringent in the world. And so this is what really bugs me about this ESG thing, is the encroachment of the different types of certification and the type of people that are doing it. And really what it comes down to is the thing that we've lost in natural resources and we've lost in the United States is we are now punishing the people that make the investment and take the risk in harvesting our natural resources and caring for our lands. And they're being punished by people that neither make the investment or take any risk. And this is going to be the great tragedy of our time, is because there's so few of us that produce wealth for our nation from the land. And regardless if you're trading ones or zeros or whatever you're doing, all wealth is derived from land. It comes from the sun, it comes from water, it comes from ground, it comes from soil. It's not created any other way. And so all these guys that are trading, like, no offense to Bitcoin guys, but none of that is possible without it anchoring me back to some land, some way to produce power, so you cannot name anything that does not come from the land. And what is happening is probably greater than an 80-20. It is greater than 80-20. There's only about, maybe if we're lucky, 5% people actually work at the natural resource level on the ground, and the other 95% are all profiting off of that that harvesting of that natural resource. And what's happening
Well,
is
and each one of the
slowly that 95% is just crushing the 5% that's maintaining and continuing to make the rest of the nation wealthy and prosperous. That's my soapbox.
How do we stop that? Like, you know, like seriously, like the people who are physically making all this stuff, this sounds more like, you know, workers of the world unite, but like it's the siloedness and the independence of the ag community as a whole, I think, is what a huge strength, but also the greatest weakness of like, we don't need your third party bullshit. Because like, guess what? We're just not going to sell anything for 3 months and you can go pound sand. You know, I think that's extreme, but it's like, how do we, and I know this is probably what Richard's always thinking about also, like, how do we make it so we're regulating ourselves, so to speak, or proving up what we're doing is right. And I don't need somebody sticking their nose in here, just somehow witness their way in as the expert. And now I have to live up to your standards or I can't sell my stuff, either with this ESG or the third party or whatever. It's like telling these quote unquote experts to go pound sand. How do we make that happen?
I think it's very simple. And I think that it's just going to take a
United
decision by people in agriculture that says, look, you can't do this.
Yeah.
You can't go plant wheat. You can't grow corn.
Mhm.
You can't raise. So you can't tell me what to do because you physically and you don't have the tools. You can have all the money in the world, but you can't just start doing these things. I mean, over time you can buy into it.
And I think people who shouldn't have an opinion have an opinion, and I think that's as the world gets smaller and smaller, that's what look at what social media has done to us.
Yeah.
I mean, in my mind, they don't have a stake enough in the game to be able to help us make those decisions. So
you can have all the opinions you want. We just shouldn't wait.
You have to fight back. I mean, and that's what somebody just said. I think that's what agriculturalists do the worst, because we are self-sufficient. We aren't talkers. We don't stand on our soapbox and yell. We have to educate people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Or
it's
have
that
our own
simple and that
system.
complex.
Yeah, have our own system, I think, is the other point about it. Like these, the third party people, like they saw an opportunity and they figure out a way to ninja in the middle and somehow be deemed as some kind of authority. You know, part of me is like, well, congratulations, you figured out how to work our system. The other part is like, shit, why didn't we do that already? You know, like how did we get to that point? Like we have to rely on somebody else saying that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. You know, how did that narrative get that screwed up? And we let that happen, honestly, because I was like, I'm just going to do my thing and leave me alone and yada, yada. Okay. You know, and it's this word people can't start calling you kind of conspiracy or weird. Like when you start giving an inch though, next thing you know, you're freaking 2 miles down the road, AKA 15 days to flatten the curve, which if I ever hear that term again, I'll probably pull my hair out. And this is gorgeous shit. So that should never happen. But like, look where we're at now. Like seriously, 2.5 years later or whatever, and poor Joel's got to show his papers, please, to go have a burger somewhere. You know, just a little bit at a time. Just one more thing. Just as is for the good. This is for your betterment. You poor dumb bastards. And so, God, think where could go next with the food source. They're going to figure out, or they already know, there's not that many people that own all this land where all the food comes from. You know, so somehow.
You guys should definitely get involved with like looking into. I don't know if you can't really sell beef direct to consumers, can you?
Shit,
Yes,
dude,
we
we just listed off like 20 people that do it online for you. Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
I don't know how you figure it out, but you got to figure out. Start selling it with Bitcoin. Accept Bitcoin
Sure.
to sell it. You guys will make national news.
Why is that such a big deal? Like, it's just like,
oh my God, there's a community of hundreds of thousands of people that are paying attention to what you can start buying with Bitcoin. Because
so like we could be like the
reason
beef
why that's
version of
important is
NFT.
because,
Is that what you're saying?
to Richard's point with the ESG, you guys have to like, so you guys are running businesses, and you have to bank somewhere, and the banks are going to dictate what
You're
you're
right.
allowed to do because you're not ESG compliant.
Mhm.
But if you can cut them out,
Mhm.
just go direct Bitcoin, like fucking cut them out.
Absolutely.
And then you're going to make, yeah, people are going to support that.
Joel, how can we
Whole
do
community.
the beef/ranch version or crops version of an NFT? You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess that's what you're saying with just being full Bitcoin, but like,
essentially you could like, yeah, I don't really understand NFTs that well, but essentially what you would do is make your fucking cow into an NFT, and then once you deliver it, you know you're getting your what you bought.
yeah,
Not like when you go to the grocery store, you're buy a pound of beef, which we've talked about before in this, and I could be wrong, but didn't you guys say that like when you go buy a pound of beef, that's from like probably 4 different cows?
for hamburger, most likely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
unless it's a really
So-
specialized product. Yeah.
If you NFT
Or
your
local. Yeah.
if you NFT your beef and people that are buying it know what they're getting, maybe that's an idea. I don't really understand NFTs that well, but it's more about cutting out financial institutions from your business.
Hmm. That's a tremendous point, because we're slowly been, and that's what Richard was talking about, doing everything paper wise, because we've all been weaned to all digital, which I'm definitely more guilty than probably anybody. But if they suddenly said, hey, you don't have this channel anymore, you can't conduct commerce because you don't meet X, Y, and Z, then you're like, oh shit. So what do I do? You kind of have to go off the grid, so to speak, which ironically enough is going completely fully modern and going like a Bitcoin route, where they're like, you don't need a grid unless they somehow regulate the internet at that point. Then you have to find another option to work through that. But
That would be an excellent, easy win, is to sell your beef online and accept Bitcoin for it. I think you would immediately see a positive response.
I think most people miss the value of the Bitcoin technology, and it's the blockchain ledger.
Mhm.
I think that's what's going to be leveraged.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So, and I know with some stuff that is in the works, and it's pretty revolutionary ideas, but it'll be interesting to see. It all comes down, because it does, this type of thinking is directly because it's decentralized thinking, and this ESG is a centralized type of thinking.
Mhm.
So automatically the two are going to be at conflict. So it's going to be a real struggle. And I think that we're at one of those fourth turnings where we could very well see this new type of transparency win the day. But I think the interim is going to be very turbulent, and it's going to be very financially devastating for a lot of people as we work through the system. And honestly, between the current political situation, the corruption in our government, and fighting droughts and everything, what comes out of the other end of agriculture is going to be pretty interesting. And yeah,
I think there's such tremendous opportunity right now for direct consumer marketing and business with agriculture in general, when there's empty freaking shelves in most cities in stores. Like, that hits home with people. Like, they go to the store and like there's not shit there, So to Joel's point of like connecting those different worlds of like, look, I'm the one raising it right here local. Like, it's not coming from somewhere else. It's not regulated by all that other crap. You can get it right here. I think if that continues to grow in popularity, they're probably going to be, and I say they, I mean the folks that have got us in the situation right now, they're going to be shiting their trousers, because it's less control they have of the information and the food. And so I think they've inadvertently probably backed themselves into that stupid corner. As long as we can take advantage and shift to that marketing concept into a greater degree than we are now, I think that's they're making all these small pods of people being independent, hopefully, and connecting and saying, this is where I get my food at, or I'm making my own. And so, we're not supposed to have bare shelves in America. We never have.
Well, but our supply chain needs revamping too.
100%. Yeah, you're great point, Amy. Yeah.
Roundup
point.
is, and
Mm-hmm.
And have
Absolutely.
have you guys looked at all at Farmers Business Network?
Mm-hmm.
It's really kind of an interesting concept, and
Yes.
it's around here anyway. It's a tool to keep the co-ops and the other suppliers a little more honest about some of the supply chain things that we're dealing with.
Yeah, I think that's probably another a way to explore that deeper. They'll probably try to break it up. If it got larger and more controlling, they'd probably try to break it up as monopoly. I think they might have probably more problems doing that now than before. But yeah, I think again, it's there's all that power and that control of the landmass and the resources. Probably, well, a long time ago was less than 2% of the population was directly involved in agriculture. Like that's the stat we heard back in college, and I doubt it's gone up since then.
Right.
So, they probably don't want to kick the nest too hard, but the point in the come, we're like, listen, y'all, we're gonna have to ag of the world unite, so to speak.
Maybe
Is it
maybe
1.8?
what we'll do with my cows, we'll try to NFT it and use it in an experiment.
Digging it, Joel. Big time. Dude, it's just crazy enough to work. What's that, Richard?
1.8% of the population, but when you actually break down the amount of people that are actually have, I call it dirt on the
Oh yeah,
nails,
it's probably less than
a lot of that 1.8% is professional people and
Mhm.
salesmen.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Oh, it's probably
So,
less than 0.5%,
actually-
maybe 1. I would guess.
Yep. And I really think going into the future over the next 2 years, probably our biggest battles are going to be over reforming our financial system, reforming our education system, and
Mhm.
reforming agriculture. I think that'll be the 3 sort of
I sure
watershed
hope so.
battles that we're going to have in our
I sure
Yeah.
hope so.
So.
Local control. Yeah. Outstanding. I like our little ditch run here. I think it's been good conversation though, as always. But it's been damn, this is almost a Rogan linked podcast now. It's like we started at like 9:03 my time and it's 11:42 now. But I think this is the stuff that we need to keep talking about and pointing out, and these are the things that need to be kicked around and stomped on and looked at from all the angles. Like most times, like good ideas evolve from that and not shutting down because it's different or somebody doesn't agree. I think that's the main point also, is like there's no limit on what your thoughts can be. There can't be. So I think that's the important thing for what we talk about and what people think and how things shift and change. So, I think one of the thoughts a long time ago about this whole everybody quarantined stayed at home, revolution has always started when people are gathered around in the pub or in a local common place, talking together and putting together thoughts and plans. So what's one of the easiest ways to curtail that is to keep everybody separate and scared and home and away. Even with things like this, it still was reduced to a large degree of people bringing all these thoughts and these ideas together and be like, hey, wait a minute, screw this, like to think about. I don't know if we haven't talked about it yet, but I wanted to bring it up. One more thing before we go is all the truckers that are uniting in Canada and heading towards Ottawa to raise hell. Has anybody else heard about this? Like there's literally thousands of semi-trucks headed to the capital to shut that shit down until they lift the vaccine mandates. And they removed the Facebook page that had over 600,000 people on it. They shut it down. GoFundMe secured, like there's over $5 million in donations for this cause. Shut it down. And so they're doing all they can to quell it, squash it, because they don't want anybody to be thinking of the thing in Canada is not all happy, hunky, dory. But there are literally convoys of trucks from everywhere headed to the capital to sit there and protest until they lift the vaccine mandates. But like you're not hearing about that hardly anywhere. But like to think about, they just shut that page down. Like, we don't agree with this, so we're just going to shut it off. Like 600,000 people are on that Facebook page.
Yeah, GoFundMe keeps doing that. Somebody needs to.
Isn't that just like
GoFundMe?
Yeah, we definitely did. fund this.
The wrinkle in that one is the state was going to seize the funds.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think they blocked it, meaning so in sanctions, OFAC sanctions world, blocked means they take it and they just hold it. They
Yeah.
don't give it back. They don't reject it. They hold it.
Yeah. Like,
I
doesn't
don't
that
know
blow
if
your
that's what
mind?
they're doing for sure, but
But they've done that with a lot of things. Like I don't know exactly what GoFundMe's role was in this, but like take Kyle Rittenhouse, for example, like people raised a bunch of money for his defense and they were blocking and holding that because they didn't agree with it. And it's like, yeah, I guess it's your platform and that's your right. But what kind of bullshit is that? Like, on the other hand, you're physically running funding for everybody to get bailed out of jail for burning shit down in Minneapolis. But isn't it innocent until proven guilty? And this guy's in a defense, like seriously? So those sort of things like should just be catching our hair on fire more and more often because people now are like, oh yeah, that's happening to people I don't like. But guess what, Scooter? Next week, you're going to be one they're shutting down for conversation or for your thoughts or your beliefs, and it's going to be too freaking late, And so it's good to see all these folks coming together in Canada. I saw a Snapchat today from a cop. She was like, I'm meeting you at the outskirts of town. We're escorting you in. I'm freaking speaking at the rally, and so for her to come out and blast that, I'm sure she's going to catch hell for it being a cop in Canada. But, they had make Canada great again signs and fuck Trudeau and like all their trucks are lined up. So yeah, do some Googling and check it out. Like it's huge convoys coming from all over Canada to just be like, no, this vaccine mandate shit is not going to stand. Basically, no matter insert whatever mandate or cause of regulation. I think that's the whole point is, but this one in particular is about that. So hopefully they just keep on trucking, but it's weird how you don't hear about that because nobody wants to hear or same thing in Australia. People are getting pissed off down there finally too. And if that doesn't scare the shit out of everybody, look at what happens there with camps and lockdowns and like physical restraint of people who don't fall in line with their idiocy. I tell you, that's scary shit. Cheers. So
that was a good way to end on a happy note.
I was just gonna say, should we finish up with a happy ending real quick so we can shove everybody off back into the world for tomorrow on a happier note? So, Richard, what's your happy ending there, Hot Pants?
Oh, I think preschool is going to be the big happiness of the day.
You're gonna do so good, Richard.
Yeah, we're gonna be fine. And if you pee yourself, it's okay. We still love you.
Yep. And I promise I won't. I'll share my snacks.
That's even better. Yeah, that's good.
That doesn't sound safe from a COVID perspective.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Amer, happy ending.
Gotta say, starting the Cavs. This is the last year I can blame anybody or blame poor management decisions on anybody but myself. So starting the Cavs. Weather's good. New job. Life's great.
Outstanding. That's what I love to hear. Sometimes change is good. Yes.
Mhm.
I dig it. Mr. Joel.
Guess I'll go with Amy's thing.
Your cabin?
New year, new objectives. And I've already gotten like 3 emails for people wanting to talk to me for open positions. Not that I want to leave my position, but
No, it's always good to explore though. Either you find a better opportunity or it reinforces what you have now.
yeah, they're kind of flooding in. I don't know. We'll see. Our let's see, in about a month, February 22nd, I think, is when we find out our numbers. So I'll know a lot more then.
Yeah, you can't leave before bonuses go out. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll make a decision. I think it looks like a pretty strong job market. So that's good.
Awesome. Yeah, it is a strong job market for sure. Yeah. Rawls, homeschool. finish us up some happy times there.
Oh heck. Just I don't know. Everything everything in this world, jammed up way it seems everywhere you turn, whether you go to the grocery store. Hell, my wife got her birthday card in the mail from her parents from Texas, and somebody had opened it and taken the money out of it and put the card back in and got her. I mean, we're seeing all kinds of dandy shit going on in the world that we live in today.
Did you kick the mailman's ass? Like, where did that happen along the way?
Had to go through LA.
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought it was a train. Yeah.
No. I think in spite of all that, for me, my happiness is right in front of you, and getting to have my son here to spend my days with, that's my happy ending, and the things that I look forward to now in life are different, and so that's a good thing. It's a distraction from the shit show that we're in, but I see good things to come. It seems like all the bad rears its ugly head, and eventually it'll get brought to justice on what needs to be brought. So we can sit here and talk about all these different crazy things going on in life, but there is a light at the end of every tunnel. So yeah, that's kind of all I can see. That's the good I see from all the shit that we spew back and forth on this thing. So
Rumpf. Yeah, I agree.
Fight the fight.
The human spirit, not only the American spirit, the human spirit is strong. I think that's always something that gives me comfort, no matter how stupid it sounds. At some point, you're like, eventually everybody comes to the table and is like, shut up. And so I think it's always going to be there. But from my point of view, it's getting the chance to have these conversations with everybody. I truly look forward to this. That sounds like blowing smoke, but there's a lot of the stuff I could be doing at 11:52 p.m. Eastern, like fucking sleeping. But this is fun for me. I really like seeing everybody, talking to everybody, interacting with the gang online, and just having that voice. Like we said since day one, like this is for us, really, because it's always going to be here and we've done it for us, but like other people enjoy it, which I think is awesome. But that makes me smile and happy every week. And then something completely left field of that is the Jackalope Jamboree coming up June 23rd through 25th in Pendleton. Freaking Turnpike Troubadours and Shane Smith are going to be there. And so I tried like hell to get Troubadour tickets a few weeks ago in Texas, and they sold out in like 2.7 milliseconds. So to see that they're coming up in June in P-Town is pretty damn cool, and also gives me a reminder that shit still works out all right sometimes, and good things happen. So hopefully we can get tickets for that, but you never know where it's going to pop up. So I actually would have been kind of pissed if I spent like, $900 for tickets to go to Troubadours in Texas and then found out they're going to be in P-Town. So hidden
Mike,
blessings.
I got an extra ticket if you want to use mine.
Oh.
Same road, Kurt.
No, I'm in. Yeah.
5 seats over.
Check the box, darling. I'm all over it. Yeah.
All right.
Done and done. Yeah. So excellent. Amy, thank you so much for joining us this fine evening, bringing some class in to the table. We appreciate that. So great to hear all the cool things that are going on. Congratulations on the job update and the new adventure. So we'll have to keep posted on that. That's always a spooky but fun adventure. So I know you've it's a really, really good and loyal customers where you're at, and it's gonna be tough to leave some of them if you ever get a chance to. But also cool to move to a different realm. I think that's good to test ourselves once in a while. So that's cool. And one more thing too. Special thanks again to our sponsors at B&K Auto. Promo code. What's the promo code, Joel?
LGBTQ.
Yeah. Close enough. Let's go, Brandon, to the Takiero. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Reach your code. Don't forget that. That'll get you a savings and a discount. So we can't thank those guys enough for all they do for us. But anything else for the good of the order before we sign off on this Rogan-esque experience and let everybody get back to their normal daily lives?
Good night.
Good night. Rawls, thanks again for your
Good night.
activity on the Wolf Committee. I think that's really important, and glad that you're taking the 2 second spare time you have to do that. And John is a tremendous person to get to work with also. So that's really cool just to get some of his brain and experience for you and to pass that to the rest of the OCA. I think that's awesome. So well done, good sir. Yeah, it's not easy to do that, but it's what we have to get done. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you. And if there's any listeners from the local county area, tomorrow night is the annual scholarship fundraiser pie social. So if you're looking for a good huckleberry cheesecake and willing to pay good money for it, there will be a few tomorrow night.
Oh, kids, Joel, you better start bidding on that shit right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell you what.
I know that doesn't apply to anybody on the podcast here, but it is a fun.
Are y'all taking Bitcoin?
Yeah.
You might mention that for next year.
I might look into that for next year.
Hey guys, we're gonna bring this up, but we should take
That's
Bitcoin
your-
next year. Yeah.
That's your Wow County growers.
Yeah, the county growers, we the end of January every year around this week we have there's a I believe it's a prime rib dinner and then the pie social. So it's a fun event, cake, pie and cake.
Cake, pie and cake.
Yeah, a lot of folks donate. I think there's probably 25, 30 cakes or pies that get donated, and I think we've seen a few of them go for over $800.
I figured sometimes you donate them back too. Y'all do that?
Oh yeah. It's kind of a fun deal because I mean there's a bunch of tables and you'll have 8-10 people at a table and one table might buy one and then share with the other table. It's just fun. It's
definitely want to bring your fat pants too. That sounds awesome. Like prime rib.
Yeah.
Pie,
yeah. Like, it's a great place to spread coronavirus.
I would send a proxy bid to yours if you send one to ours in February.
In February, that'd be fantastic. We'll have to
I think Joel should bid on both of them. Let's go. Come on.
Perfect.
Get
we can far reach pool for both of them.
Cow.
Joe's donated his cow already. He hasn't even bought yet. I love it. Yeah.
Is that how you make prime rib out of a cow?
It's a good place to start. Yeah. Most preferred method. Yeah. The goldfish
Keep
didn't
on
go over
live.
well, and neither did the armadillo, but cow is the best for prime rib. Yeah.
Yes, so far, yes.
Maybe he's gonna raise my cow, and then I'm gonna donate it to Raleigh's spaghetti feed.
Yeah. Now you're having a spaghetti feed, Rawls. Just created a whole new adventure. Like, yeah. You heard it here first, folks. Yeah. On Doing It with Joel, he's gonna make spaghetti with prime rib. So it'll be awesome.
That just sounds great.
I think that'd be awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I think you guys got to make proxies so you can FaceTime and buy pies at each other's thing, and all will be well. So
yeah, absolutely, that'll be fun.
Perfect.
yeah,
Cool.
that's
Well,
what Reaching's all about. So yeah, outstanding. Well, this has been the highlight of my week. Appreciate it so much. Good to see everybody. Thanks for the comments online. Keep them flowing in. We will keep more Doing It with Joel coming. So we're looking for suggestions on how we can make that happen. So yeah, we might even get Reaching with Roast in there at some point also. So we'll see. That might be too much for the internet. We'll find out. But
who came up with that slogan? Doing
What?
it with Joel.
I think
Doing it with Joel.
Not
It was
me.
it was a joint
I think
effort.
Joel came up with his own slogan.
Yeah, I think.
The idea
Usually-
was mine. Mike had named it.
Yeah. I was like, well, what about we call it Doing with Joel? And he's like, oh
And
Jesus.
it was really just how much can Raleigh teach me? Raleigh can teach me so many things. I'm gonna get up there to Joseph.
Yeah, but having to rename it "Doing It with Joel" is what I'm trying to wrap my head around. Like,
Well, it kind of plays in with the reaching
think about
around the
that.
happy ending and then doing it with Joel. Like,
uh,
of course,
Brings a
you're
whole-
the first person that came to mind. So
it brings
yeah.
a whole new perspective to teaching.
Yes, it does. Yeah. So like, are you saying you're hands-on teacher? Is that what you're saying,
No,
Raleigh?
No.
All these videos should be like Raleigh doing it really quick, like Sally and Horace. It takes him 15 seconds, and then, all right, now we're doing it with Joel.
Yeah, doing it with Joel, and then skip ahead. Like
It's
in the
sort of an
meantime, we decided to
education.
trim the hoofs because the horse has been here a while. So yeah, it's okay. Yeah, like never mind, Joel. It's dark. We're fucking just go back. Try it again tomorrow.
I don't know though. The way Joel approached the situation in the airport with the chicken eater, I
Mhm.
might have done things differently there
The
too. as
chicken
well.
eater.
So
I honestly think Raleigh's just worried about all the shit he's gonna have to fix.
There could be it too. Yeah.
Months. Of
Started out
repairs.
with one thing and doing it with Joel, and like 3 weeks later. So we're still fixing all the fence that got tore to shit. Next is going to be the fender on the pickup, and then finally the barn. So yeah, doing it with Joel turned into quite the experience. So there's a ripple effect, you could say.
I
It's like
don't.
I'm gonna show up like Jonathan from Queer Eye. With well, you guys probably haven't watched Queer Eye.
I have no idea what that means, but it's still cracking me up. Yeah, like is that the guy in the Command Strips commercial? Do no harm, that guy?
Dude, you gotta watch Queer Eye. It's such a good show.
Okay,
on Netflix.
I'll take your word for that.
They have one with a cattle rancher from Texas on this new season. It's good.
Well, there's a new season.
Must have been from Austin.
There's some homework for everybody if you feel comfortable Googling that. Go
We're
ahead.
I'm gonna share that on the Facebook page because you can't badmouth Queer Eye too much. It's a good show.
I'm sure it's entertaining. I just never have stopped to watch it. So I appreciate your confidence in yourself.
The guy that's the host of Chop.
I think Raleigh's gonna pass.
The guy who's the host of Chop, Alan?
was on the original one. Yeah.
who comes up with a show called Queer Eye?
Remember the old show Queer Eye for the Straight Guy?
I heard about it. I never seen it, but
Back when we were like in high school age, probably.
Yeah, it was on Bravo.
They still make that show. It's just called not Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. It's just called Queer Eye now.
gotcha.
It's actually a pretty good show. I don't know. Jess watches it.
So therefore you do. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well,
That's
then
fine.
she had me watch one specific episode about a cattle rancher. I'm gonna send it to you guys. You guys are gonna like
That's
it.
fine. I'll check it out. I'm okay. I just think when I'm like whipping through the channels and I'm like, oh, Queer Eye, let's stop and see what that's about. I don't care. Yeah, so it's probably a great show, but just wasn't on the, can I say radar or gaydar? It just wasn't on the screen. So yeah.
I used to watch the original one because it was like, now I just feel like it's there for social reasons. The original was sort of it was pretty good, but man, my dad would roll his eyes.
Probably wondering how many places he went wrong with you. Yeah, probably had the list even built up. I knew we should have. Yeah.
Still wondering.
That was pre-existing too. I'm thinking what the other version of that could be, like Straight Lace or something like that, or maybe it's called Doing It with Joel. We'll see. I'm loving it. I'm just loving it. Doing it with
All
Joel.
right, see you guys. I'm going.
Well, we'll end on that high note right there, kids. All righty. Well, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you much. Talk to everybody later.
All right.
Off the
Night, kids.
Thanks, guys.